Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Dark Heresy Whispers of the Eye. My name is Dylan, or Horndrop, or Kurtz, and I'm going to be your game master for tonight. We are not streaming this, unfortunately. We're doing a little test run, so we're checking out the layout. We're checking out the system, making sure everyone's good to go. Hopefully, within a couple more weeks, we'll have this streaming live to you on Monday nights. On our Twitch channel, Total Tabletop. Obviously, you know where to get that because you're watching it on our YouTube channel, Total Tabletop. Feel free to join our Discord. We have a 40K channel, and I've talked enough. Let's introduce everyone, and we'll just go down the line, starting with Mortius.
You mean Modeus?
Modius.
Yes.
Excuse me.
Yeah. All right. Well, this is I'm Brian Gunter. I'm playing out of northwestern Pennsylvania. I am playing Modeus Skygar, and he is a Adeptus Telepathica, but more importantly, a navigator. So I'm the one that plans to help everyone get through the warp without dissolving into a big flaming pile of shit.
Sounds like a plan, hopefully. Hopefully, yeah. Better start pumping that XP into your willpower, bud. That's all I can say. All right.
I can get for now.
All right, let's go to Barbosa.
My name is Zach. Wolf or crow-blooded, depending on whatever works. I'm going to be playing Scoundrel with a knack for killing witches. And ended up stumbling into some gainful employment for the first time in his life. So, but he's good at shooting and kind of has a little bit of a accent problem that I'm hoping I'm going to iron out here.
You're a little garbled there, but I think we got the main points of it. You're a desperado, outlaw, got some work with this Inquisitor, and you're just here to see where this whole acolyte thing leads you, right?
Pretty much, yeah, my character lacks some, kind of just goes with the flow, you know, like he has a very bare bones existence, grew up out in the waste, kind of doing what he has to do to survive, so this seems like a really good way to survive longer than most people.
Hey, why not give it a shot? All right. Lothos.
Hello there, everyone. I'm Spaz, and I'm currently playing Lothos, the religious assassin that is hopefully willing to assist the party in our righteous goals to prevail the word of the God Emperor. What I can do, who really knows? Maybe not even me, but I guess we'll see through the events of our gameplay.
I suspect you'll kill everyone. And last but not least, Phalos. Or Phalio.
You got it right, Phalos. Hello, everyone. My name is Joe, or Microcosmic in the Discord if you swing by, which you should. I will be playing Phalos Dade, tech priest, a terrible Russian accent that will go in and out of quality as we are playing. But the important thing to know is that the flesh is weak and I am here to make it strong.
All right. That is our probably doomed warband, fated to do the God Emperor's bidding in this M43 of Warhammer 40K. If you have questions about the lore, we've already had a few questions, especially regarding the year. Lore is really important in 40K. We're going to be going over a lot of it. If you have any questions about anything we do, anything we say, anything we bring up, like, hey, what the hell's an archoflagellant? Who's the God Emperor? Why is there a church flying through space? Feel free to ask us in the Discord, and we'll try to answer whatever questions you guys have. But let's do a quick recap, because we actually didn't record our last session. We didn't do a lot. It was mostly a Session Zero character creation kind of thing. We did do a little bit of RP, though. And in this RP, our warband was gathered from the far reaches of the system in the galaxy over the Imperium of Man. We have brought forth these 4 acolytes. Those who showed skill, willpower and faith above and beyond all others, beyond the common man of the Imperium and beyond their station. They were selected and then led to the Inquisitor Balthazar on his ship, which is named the Constant Vigil. They found themselves there, met the captain of said ship, a Cassandra Eoprim, a hard woman with multiple bionic cybernetic implants and replacements for limbs and body parts she had lost over who knows how long, traveling across the stars and exploring these uncharted planets in service to the Inquisitor. As they were led through the ship, the party also encountered strange servitors. Upon further inspection and a little bit of questioning and thought, they recognized these as archoflagellants, heretics who have been given the chance at penance at becoming these berserker killing machines to be unleashed at the Inquisitor's behest. They met also with a cleric from the planet that they were above, Altheus. You guys shouldn't see all the ship stats on that screen, excuse you. Who left an impression with the party with his religious fervor. The warband, then met with the Inquisitor himself, a witch hunter of great renown and power, although just how powerful and how renowned the party may not be yet aware. And they were given their first task, etched into a data slate, given to them, and then sent about their way. Their mission, extract Lady Janita Brigio from the city, rendezvous with Valkyrie pickup, and if they can, support the Imperial Guards on the ground that are besieging the capital. And that's where we left off. So, you all find yourselves led out of the room by these two Imperial Guardsmen there, ochre-colored cloaks and respirators, giving them this sort of daunting, stormtrooper-ish look as they lead you over the soft carpet, muffling your footsteps until you pass through the large branded doors of the Inquisitor's abode, led back out into the dark steel of the waiting archoflagellants and the main ship hull. The two guardsmen stand there. You've already surmised that they share a private channel of speech, probably a private Vox channel, either through microbead or something in the respirators, you're not sure. But you haven't heard them speak out loud yet, but they are responsive to outward stimulus. Like they can't like not hear you. They're kind of just standing there looking at you guys, keeping guard.
Well, I am not a strategist per se, but perhaps there is place to be gathering more information on city to make informed decision on approach. Otherwise, we may as well flip coin with more than two sides. There were more than two options. Coin is bad example.
At the moment,
Options bloody terrible anyways. It's between 2 and 3 for more money. We could flip a coin. Sounds right to me.
Rowboat out, say that again.
Shit. Can you hear me? Before I start talking?
There you go.
we could hear you now.
Okay. These options, right. So we only got a choice between 2 and 3. We can always just flip a coin. 2 and 3 is just as good as me.
I think you guys get the idea.
Okay.
All right, so if you guys remember, you basically had 3 choices, or 3 paths, rather. Option number 1, you guys are dropped outside of the city and plot your own way in. Option 2, you guys land in with the Imperial Guard and are essentially escorted with them, but that will take you through the thick of the fighting. And option 3, one of the Inquisitor's Valkyrie squadrons will fly you in as close as they can. This is a little dangerous, especially you're not sure of the opposing forces' anti-air capabilities, but this seems to be the quickest, most direct way. You guys could also come up with something else. Go nuts.
I would definitely agree with the slow but quiet approach. Best outcome for survivability, at least. And considering what we have at our disposal, we could make ourselves look, or at least allow ourselves to blend into the crowd very easily and move around, unnoticed for the most part.
I'm
So
gonna
you are
look at.
thinking-
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Joe.
You are thinking that we drop outside the city rather than flying in quickly or going through fighting. I think we should avoid fighting. It lowers chances we retrieve target, but maybe speed is preferable to safety.
I think the middleman's got something right there. You see, we get stuck outside the city, we gotta get into the fucking city, right? But if we start in the city, what's the little risk, right? We fucking they can fly. They fly in things all the time. Sure, we get in the city now. It's quicker. Say, quicker is better.
I heard
Unless they
you
are
perfect.
blowing up.
I heard quicker is better.
I
which
heard you
can
perfectly. Like your quality was perfect. I had no idea what you said. I think you went with quicker is better. So you want to drop in?
Yeah, he
Oh
wants,
my-
to
Valkyrie?
yeah.
go, he wants to go the Valkyrie route because going in quietly, takes too long, and also we have no clue what else is going on.
That's true. You guys don't know the state of the city. And there are a few changes. I should have gone over this with you guys before we started. It's not a hive world. It is an agri world. So it's an agricultural world. Essentially, the whole world is devoted to growing food.
Okay, then that does
Um,
change things quite a bit.
Yes. So it's a very large city, but it is not a hive. And there's a reason for this change. You'll find out. But you've only seen the planet from space. So you don't really have any ground reconnaissance available to you as of yet. You do have the data slate with you, which you really haven't inspected.
Well, I will, considering that, I will look through the data slate to see what information I can find on the city itself. If
Okay.
there's anything more, or especially the troops that are placed there and what we're looking up against.
Oh, so you want like military level shit.
If it has any, I'll look for it to see on the data slate. But at this point, just going through it, seeing what it has, and then if not, then asking the lovely individuals that are escorting us at the moment to see if they be able to inform us of any other information, or at least direct us somewhere that we could gather more information.
Cool. All right. And if you guys are watching this recording, you'll notice that the panel in the bottom left of the recording is going to be the rule book. So the rule book for 40K is over 500 pages. So there's a lot of flipping. And if you want to get into this game, if you see this, what we're doing, and you want to get interested, feel free. Or if you're judging us like, oh, they don't, that's a bullshit rule, we're going to pull up that fucking rule book right there for you guys. And you can see the really cool art.
Nice art.
Yeah. So, well, do you have tech use as a trained skill?
I do not have tech use as a
Okay.
trained skill.
Um,
I'm more of a people person.
you do
than
have
technology person, though.
Yeah, you do have the signet ring, which
Yes, I believe so. Now I think about,
Yep.
I think it actually was handed off to our third eye friend, Odeus.
okay.
I also do not have much in the way of tech use, though.
Well, if they see something that is require tech, then I can.
Yeah.
always-
Are they obviously struggling with the data slate?
Give me a tech use roll. It's going to be -10.
It's a -10 roll, and I believe it's based off of intelligence, correct?
It'll be let's look. We're all learning.
Tech use is intelligence.
Okay.
At least that's what they have right next to it. So
Yep.
that is a 20. I have to roll under a 26.
Yep. Oh my
Woo.
god.
The
Alright.
religious man.
So
How to operate.
yeah, Phalos, Modius, and Barbosa, you guys are standing there watching this sort of bodysuit clad assassin just poke at this data slate for a bit like a toddler with an iPad. And you're kind of like, does this jackass even know what he's doing? But after a while, you do manage to sort of get past the initial message and into some of the data slate contents. Whether or not you were supposed to is kind of questionable, but they're there, so you did it. And that will give you access to the schematic of the city. For those of you watching, Roll20 was being a bitch, so we don't actually have the map of the city up. Sorry. It's a cool map. You should check it out. It's in the Discord. So that will be available to you guys from now on. You don't have GPS capabilities with the data slate, but having this as a reference will give you a +10 to all navigation tests within the city.
So after getting the map up, so this is currently what we're looking at when it comes to entering.
Good idea.
Does it specify which building is the one that we're supposed to be taking care of it? Or no?
The message has a number next to the word location. So if that correlates to the map.
No. You're talking about, yeah. So this is just your basic outline. So it is a very large city. You guys starting to get at it. It looks very ramshackle. It looks like the closer you get towards the inner city or the spire, as it looks. The map is actually three-dimensional, and you'll see it sort of triangles up towards the middle of the city, where this large, very sleek-looking tower is situated. And that seems to be where the Imperium most likely has set up their planetary governors and leaders and shit like that. So, you knowing this, you guys have been to world, you know how like the class system works in day-to-day life. You could assume that she's there, but you don't know for sure. But it's a very large tower. It's probably about 3 or 4 kilometers high.
It's a big building.
Yes.
And there, you said there's some guards nearby, right?
Yep, there's 2 of them.
Yes, excusing me.
One will sort of, it looks like he might have been, he's sort of just staring at the other. He might have been talking, but you couldn't hear him. He'll sort of just do a double take and turn. You'll see him sort of fiddle around with this respirator, and through not a garbled vox, but a sort of one that's distorted enough so you wouldn't really be able to like tell them apart if they were talking. You hear him, yes, acolyte.
Yes, hello. I am wondering if we know where the lady is currently located, or if that is something we need to figure out on the ground.
Lady?
Lady Gianetta Brigio, I am not best with names.
At this point, I'm going to walk up behind him and slap him in the back of the head. Kind of put an arm around his shoulder and turn him away and be like,
You don't fucking get it. But it's confidential information, mate. Not everybody be knowing about it. They're just guards, man. They said, oh, you gotta keep your head on right or you're gonna get so killed.
People are dying every day. If he knows where the lady is, it makes my day easier. If he doesn't,
He
I am
doesn't
in the
know
same
where the lady
position.
is. He doesn't even know there's a lady, mate. He doesn't know where there's a lady. Maybe we talk to the captain about it, yeah? Someone with some brains in their head, not just some random gun standing by a door.
That is not a bad idea. Excusing me one more time. Where is Captain?
Probably on the bridge, Acolyte.
Into the bridge we will be going.
Of course. Will all of you be accompanying?
Just gonna look at everybody like, yes, no?
I don't see why not.
Yes.
Unless you think we should split up and one of us gather supplies for our.
Actually, I was wondering if you might be having an armory I could poke around in.
Give me. What are your allies? Barbosa. I got it right now. Adeptus Arbites and Underworld. You don't have any contact with the Imperial Guard. Yeah, he'll just sort of nod.
Well, there's the ship's main armory, but that's seen over by the quartermaster. We would be happy to lead you there.
So where to first, my friends? The bridge or the armory? Do you want to get geared up or gather information first?
Much obliged.
I suppose we can be stopping
I'll
for
never turn down
equipment,
that
so we are ready to make progress when speaking to Captain.
Then will you be willing to lead us to the location we're seeking? Then, guards. Not to sound rude, but saying guards and things like that is a bit difficult to keep up with. Do you have designations to call you both by, or distinguish one another from?
My name is Corporal Stuck, and this is Private Barrel.
We have Stock and Barrel with us.
Very
Well,
well,
I
then,
suppose
stock in barrel.
we may want to stop with the armory first. I don't think I'd have much use there. I'm carrying all I usually do, but
I am
acquire
not
what you
needing things, but it is not a bad place to go.
Looking these two individuals up and down, how well equipped do they look, the Mechanicus and the Navigator?
Mechanicus.
compared to the rest, yeah.
Weapon-wise, I have a gun.
I have a gun also,
It's a hand
and a whip on my side.
Yeah. So it looks like they both, if I'm not mistaken, have these chunky-looking ballistic weaponry. You recognize them. Oh wait, no. Ironically, the tech priest has the chunky, heavy, like 357 Dirty Harry looking revolver holstered at his hip, whereas the navigator has a you would probably recognize just from your background as a shock whip and a las pistol.
I'll be honest, I kind of expected the shock whip with the Mechanicus, but I guess I was wrong. But okay then.
He's like one of the guys from the Mad Max things. He just prays to technology, but only combustion and what's chrome. It's got to see the Omniscience shiny and chrome to the great beyond.
Get him something shiny from the armory and he'll be
I
fine.
like things made of metal.
Well, then you should
I
love the
like
armory.
the-
Let's go.
I have like 3 guns. I've got guns strapped all over me. I have a big ass sniper rifle on my back, and then I have like a a hand cannon I keep like tucked on like behind me, and then I have another one kind of in front that's like a normal auto gun or whatever they call it. So I have like plenty of guns, but you can never have too many guns.
You could never have too many guns. Never.
Just to double
Just
check for something completely unimportant. Could I use my ferric lure to pull my pistol to me?
Let me check it.
It's certainly within the weight limits.
Use the force, young Skywalker.
Yeah.
Okay, so then the completely unimportant thing works. It's technically holstered on an ankle holster on my bad leg rather than a hip. I like to give the impression that I can't reach it quickly.
Now, when you say bad leg, do you mean like it's just flesh?
Oh, no, the one with the limp.
No. You gotta get
They're
rid of
both
that
bad
stat.
legs.
Yeah, you gotta get rid of that thing stat.
Yeah, no, it's. I have a bad leg and a trash leg.
Garbage.
Anyway, the armory will be fine. Let us be going barrel in stock.
All right, so you'll see him sort of switch back over to a private net, and they will lead you guys. It's not a leisurely pace. It's definitely a brisk walk. They seem like they're in a hurry, but this also might just be their innate mannerisms. Phaelus, you've been around Imperial Guardsmen before, and you know that each regiment has their own sort of mannerisms and oddities about them. So it might just be that. It might just be whatever world or founding they're from or how dickish their commissar is.
I'll just keep an eye out for other people of that regiment just out of mild curiosity to see if I see the same mannerisms.
Yeah. So the guardsmen you're going to pass, and you do pass other guardsmen as you're traveling around the ship. There seem to be two types of crew members. There's the guardsmen, which are dressed exactly the same. Like they could be cookie cutter. Some of them have obviously different ranks, or you notice a few pieces of like custom gear or like trophies or stuff like that. That Imperial Guardsmen, collect as they survive, or if they survive, rather. But it seems to be just this one Imperial Guard regiment. They're also dressed in these sort of deep maroon and sort of almost deep ochre brown are what look to be like flight crew, and they're probably the actual crew of the ship.
Good to know. So, one crew. Seeing anyone else walk around, do they walk at the same speed, or are these guys legit in a hurry?
Everyone's moving at a brisk pace. You are like a few hundred kilometers away from a giant space battle.
Yeah, no, it's not unreasonable to be in a hurry.
Yeah, they're all doing shit. Like, no one's just like casually strolling to their bunk. They're all like moving or mobilizing. Every now and then the two guardsmen will sort of usher you guys to the side of the corridor, and like a double file of these guardsmen will come like jogging by. You'll hear over the inner ship comms and Vox that troop movements and register things and ships are away. Shit like that. Like, there's something going on. You're not sure what, but something.
Well, everybody's got a purpose here, yeah?
Yeah. Everyone's doing something. Or is on their way to do something. Probably die.
Busy people make me nervous. I want the armory. More guns.
Are you visibly anxious?
No, I wouldn't say so. I would say I'm more not anxious, more like maybe a little bit more. My eyes are moving a little bit more. I'm keeping pace with the guards, no problem. Like, yeah, let's get to this armory. I don't know what's going on. Like, just kind of like used to seeing that kind of movement when stuff's going sideways, and that's kind of being a veteran, having been in situations that are kind of.
Yeah. Does anyone else doing anything during this travel. You guys are traveling pretty much back to where you back to the dock or to the bay. That's going to be probably the closest sort of landmark you guys know of to the armory, or where like they'll pull up a ship schematic for you on a data slate. So you're like, yeah, we're going fucking here. Like if you get lost, follow main chamber 27 Zeta 5 and shit like that.
Is this unlike any ship that I've ever been on?
Yeah.
Okay. It's much bigger than what I'm used to, correct?
It's a nice ship.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably you've been on nice ships though. I'm looking at your lore right now.
Not much in the way of ships on that, just
Yeah.
mostly the...
Just give me an intelligence check plus 20. Okay, yeah. Yeah, you've been on ships like this before. These are Dauntless class light cruisers. So they're big. They're about 3 to 5 kilometers long, pretty well armored. They usually act as escort ships for like much larger destroyers or planetary defense ships and shit like that. But they're completely capable of operating on their own, as opposed to a sort of smaller ship where you would have like a frigate or something like that, which would have, a quarter of the armor and like arms that this thing does. Through your travels through the ship, you've already picked out the fact that the life sustainment tech is nice. It's at least like it's good quality. It's not perfect. It's not great. You've been on better ones, but it's good.
Okay, 2 quick questions. Number 1, did I roll that right, or is there a better way to do it?
If you just want to roll a D100, we can do that. It said
you
you rolled you probably did it right, but the character sheets are so fucky that like
okay,
it's just easier because it's just increments of 10.
we'll just adjust as needed. Fair enough. And then on top of that, yeah, just kind of taking in what I can from the spaceship. There's probably some maps. Is there any way I can try and with it, whatever downtime we've got, try and familiarize myself with where I'm at and where we might want to be going?
Yeah, you can. Well, the ship's about 4 kilometers long.
Yeah, I know I'm trying to really grasp how massive this is. It's tough to do.
No, yeah, it's that's the thing. You're not like on a sailboat. Like this is a ship that has its own like culture. Honestly,
Right.
It's its own city. It's its own self-sustaining, self-operating like nation, pretty much. But pulling up getting schematics of the ship, they're all kind of built the same, unless this Inquisitor's made modifications, which he may have. You know that the middle of the ship and everything above that, you're probably safe to go. If you go to the lower decks, the lower you go in a ship, the shittier it gets, kind of like a hive. You know that sometimes ships have really bad shit hiding out in the very lower levels. And you're not sure if that's what it's like on an Inquisitor ship, but he could also probably have something much worse down there. So, but just navigating your way through the ship. Go ahead.
Said every ship's got its own ghetto, then I guess in here, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, every sort of larger ship will actually have ghettos and cities in their bowels, where it's just like this endless cycle of labor and maintenance and the necessary shit that the slaves do, essentially. Or servitors.
Cool.
This guy seems to like robots. You don't know. Okay. Anyone else? All right. No, go
I
ahead.
would just say for the most part, Lothos is just keeping an eye out. He's trying to get a feel for the ship for the most part.
Like its spirit?
Uh, just more of just understanding everything about the ship at this point, because I would, just from what I can think of Lothos, he's much more of a planet side person. He's
Yeah.
probably barely been on vessels, probably only been to be transferred to another sect to take care of problems.
You're from a hive world too, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, you probably almost shit yourself when you saw space for the first time, and like the
Yeah.
sheer emptiness of it, and how like physically alone you are, as opposed to like the overbearing, never-ending city of the hive.
Yeah.
Um,
It's quite crazy the difference between the two.
you're gonna have a ball on the planet.
Woo.
Okay, so eventually, you guys reach the armory. It's not really a full-on armory. It's a quartermaster ship. It's probably just stuff mostly for the flight crew and like the ship crewmen themselves, not the guardsmen. This doesn't look like their armory.
Okay then.
But there is some nice shit here. There's armor. There's like las guns, las carbines, shotguns, stubbers, stuff like that. And it's all locked behind. It's a guarded room. There's about 5 guards in here, one in each corner, and then one sort of roaming. And all the equipment is locked behind this large iron gate and cage. And there's a excuse me. There's looks to be a tub that they sort of slide back and forth to give you whatever you need. Looks like there's a few servitors as well. They're sort of half dead flesh and half mechanical bodies performing these sort of simple tasks of lifting or categorizing or moving stuff and putting labels on things. And there seems to be a bored-looking crew member, not one of the guardsmen, a crew member, behind the desk, just sort of raising an eyebrow as you all come in, escorted, of course, by Barrel and Stock.
I'll march right up to him and be like, right, mate, so look, here it is. All right, so I'm one of the new acolytes, right? So I need, there's 2 things I've been wanting, right? And they told me here, working here, I have rewards. So here's one rewards I want. I want a recoil glove and I want a scent skin. Can you do that for me, yeah?
The person behind the cabinet will sort of look you up and down, pull out just an enormous ledger, and start flipping through it page by page.
I would pull out a low stick and start smoking and just kind of blowing smoke at it.
Okay.
I know that I have a certain effect, you know, that thing that I have. Like, I know I have a certain effect, like staring at him, just like smoking, and just staring at him, just like kind of focusing, like, come on now.
Yeah. Still just slowly flipping. You said a recoil glove and synth skin?
And a synth skin, yeah.
Okay. He's not going to have the synth skin.
Okay.
And the recoil glove, give me an influence check with negative. Let's do negative 30.
Negative 30.
Yeah. Well, it's already a negative 20. And then just the fact that that's not really
Just roll
something.
a 1.
Hey,
Gotta roll that 1 then.
D100.
all right. After quite a few minutes, he will get to the recoil glove and sort of tap on the lettering and look up. Oh, I'm sorry, Acolyte. It seems that our recoil gloves are on order. Please check back within 5 Terran cycles.
Who the fuck's this Terran cycle?
1 standard Imperial year.
Wait.
5 years. You want me to wait for? Fuck you, little man. I'm gonna get all mad and I'm gonna storm off.
Have a good day, sir.
People
Next.
don't realize how much overlap there was between armory and library. Did other people need things?
As you ask that question, you realize that the servitors are probably on a private network constantly fulfilling whatever requisition order is needed by the intership sort of communications. But you also don't know how long it's taken them to get that shit. So it's also not a very large armory. And those are rare items.
Okay.
Do our weapons require chargers after some time?
Well, you have a
I
las
forget what the
pistol.
ad is.
Right.
Ammo is so plentiful, you guys don't have to worry about ammo.
Okay.
That would
I'm good
shoot
then.
them all.
Yeah, you honestly, like, it is canonically appropriate. If your las gun, if the charge pack is depleted, you can throw it in a fire and it will recharge the las pack.
I love this gun.
Like, that's just like bullets and shit. Some people like bullets have their own perks, but like las guns are made to like withstand anything. Like, they're the AK-47 of the 41st millennium.
I guess Lothos will go up next after that. And he will ask for, as he looks around at the current group with him, 4 micro beads, a set of manacles, a med kit, and 2 weapon suppressors, if possible.
With the suppressors.
The suppressors is going to be the big one right there. Because I believe everything else was like common.
The micro beads, he'll just give you those.
Okay, then.
The med kit,
Each
the
one
med
for
kit's,
the members.
yeah, the med kit's actually, I'll give you the micro beads. I'll give you a plus 20 to roll for the med kit.
Okay, then. Versus my influence.
Influence, yes.
So that would be 53. 100. Oh, that's. Damn.
Okay.
I guess we have no med kit.
And the suppressor, do you know the rarity on that?
I believe the suppressors is a -10.
-10.
So that's 2 -10s
It's
right
gonna
there.
be in weapon mod.
I don't know how loud a las pistol is, but I would assume it's somewhat
They're not.
quiet.
Ooh, you want a suppressor for a fucking laser gun?
No, I don't want to suppress for that. I'm getting
No.
a suppressor for my revolver and the Mechanicus.
You can't
revolver.
suppress a revolver.
You can't, damn.
It's actually just like mechanically impossible.
Makes sense.
He'll go through it. He'll pass you over the micro beads. He goes, I apologize. You should have received these standard upon your induction into the Inquisition.
Will he be capable of giving manacles as well?
Manacles.
Plus 20.
Plus 20. Yeah, go ahead and roll.
Can I roll good tonight? I believe that's a fail. Damn.
Yeah. He'll go through his ledger. These items are a little more common, so he kind of knows where they are, so it'll be a little faster than Barbossa's acquisition attempt. But he'll go, unfortunately, all med packs are being requisitioned by the Imperial Guard and crew members in preparation for the oncoming onslaught. Onslaught. That's the word I'm looking for. Manacles are all checked out.
Okay, then.
However, I do have a length of chain.
I will take that. That should do fine. Thank you.
You are welcome.
Is there anything else anyone might want? Something that might be able to assist us in the entering, or even something of that sort?
Perhaps a set of binoculars, yeah? Or magnoculars I'm looking at.
Yeah.
So binoculars, not a bad idea.
Rarity,
I believe that's an
Average.
a 0.
Yes.
Okay. Give me a plus 10 roll.
It might- Okay, I got one item. Nice.
Oh,
No,
shit.
yeah, that's a no on the binos.
Damn, they have all the recon
This
items.
armor here. Yeah.
Well, if there's one more thing, this is something I'll ask the group first before asking. Does anybody have a multi-key on them?
One of you does, I think.
Yes, in fact, I do.
That will be useful. That's good to know. I don't really want to attempt to go in fast somewhere and not be able to unlock a door that's in our way. Rather not have to blow it up. But just in case we do come into that, the one last thing I will ask for is if there is a laser cutter.
It's like a blowtorch, right?
Yeah.
No, it's a laser blowtorch, Dylan.
Shoots
Oh.
plasma.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a roll. It's big, though.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's technically a heavy weapon, isn't it?
Is
It's-
it a heavy weapon?
No, it's 4 kilograms, though.
That's fucking heavy.
Yeah, it's a little chunky, but if you're willing to carry it, and you can, we do use encumbrance.
You know, at the moment, I currently have 16 left for my
Yeah.
carry weight, so I could do that. So I will take the roll.
It's 10.
So that will equal out to 40. What is it? 43. Yes. Click. Nope. They just don't have anything.
They're cleaned the fuck out, man.
They're getting ready.
As
for
you
my
guys,
war.
yeah, as you guys keep asking this, and you're seeing that even common shit like med kits and manacles and, you know, a fucking laser cutter. Like, who the hell needs a laser cutter?
I guess somebody really needed laser cutters.
You know that there are other acolyte groups.
That is true.
So maybe you guys were just last to the draw.
Bam. Well then. Well, at least
I'll
we
come
are
back
able
over.
to
I've been
keep
thinking
in
about it.
communication with one another.
What was that, Barbosa?
I was like, I've been kind of a little bit like wait for
Your
everybody
robo.
else to finish up. How about now? Worse.
Where's?
I just imagine this is how Barbosa speaks now.
Yeah, I think we're just gonna give you a shitty fucking Vox implant.
It's like, what is that?
Robotic arm and a shitty Vox.
That sounds good.
And then I'm also like stupid pirate at the same time, so robo
Cannon.
pirate.
There we go.
All right, so basically I've been over there. I'm gonna come back over and be like, all right, so I mean, maybe you can redeem yourself a little bit for me, mate. Right? So you got
A what?
grappling. Who needs a bloody grappling hook?
A grappling
on a
hook?
spaceship, right? You got one of them tucked up somewhere.
All right, it's a plus 20
A bloody
roll.
grappling hook. That's what I said.
You got
It's a plus 20 roll.
Plus
Come on,
20 roll.
we
Yeah.
haven't
Right.
been
Come
rolling
on
good
now.
tonight.
Come on
Yeah,
now.
Yeah,
Let's do
in the
this now.
fucking session
I'll
0,
do
you
a
guys were
grappling.
on fire for like
Yeah,
shit
we
you
like
didn't
only
need.
rolling 6s and 7s. And
So
shit like
51. 51!
Oh my god.
that. You just barely got it.
You will slowly begin flipping through the ledger again.
Oh, not this bullshit. Look, man, it's a gun that shoots a fucking spike with some rope. You got it or not? You only got like 4 shelves here.
Slowly flipping. He'll eventually find the G's, grapple in line, slide his finger down,
I'm gonna
Tap
shoot this
it.
cunt.
stand up, walk away. He'll be gone for like 10 minutes. He'll come back with a very dusty, sort of, it looks kind of rugged crate and put it in the transfer chute and slide it over. 1 grapnel in line.
Good lord.
You're
By
lucky.
the Emperor, the war will be
I
over
don't
by the
want
time we
fucking
leave this ship. Shall we?
Secure my grapple in line and give a dirty look to this little shithead behind the counter and then be like, all right, let's go. Get on with it.
Thank you for your time, sir.
Go with the God Emperor, acolytes.
Same to you.
Please return the grapnel line after you are done.
Oh, Jared, pull it, you fucking shank.
It returns it. It's just the fucking rope. So, how much did that chain weigh?
Dust
I
to
like
get
it.
off as I'm walking, like shining.
Or was it like the, or was it like the chain weapon?
No, it's literally just like a 2-foot length of chain.
Mm-hmm.
Like half a kilogram. I don't know. You don't have to weight it.
Okay. Okay, guys, we have a chain. I don't know if we could really restrain someone with it, but it works, I guess.
Well, we can't weld it in place because they didn't have any flash cutters.
Oh. Eek. Okay, then. So we have microbeads and chain.
And a fucking Attack on Titan grappling hook.
Great. Hopefully we don't have to fight titans because we didn't ask for swords.
Every time you use it, the Sasageo theme song plays at like 50 decibels. Okay, so your guys' next destination was the bridge to find the captain.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
That is correct.
Looking for more information of this big ball of dirt.
At this point, Stock will click back over.
Acolytes. You know, if you are looking for information about the planet, you might just want to talk with our lieutenant.
Fair enough, stock or barrel. That is fine. Whoever has answers to questions.
Well, the captain's going to have answers to questions, but she's also the captain.
That's a good point. She definitely, considering the situation, she must be very busy. So the lieutenant would probably be better choice.
Whomever you think is best, I will follow.
What?
I will follow you to whomever you think is correct person. Lieutenant is fine.
You say we're gonna go with you, man. Just gonna leave on, all right?
Sort of looks to the other guardsmen with him, like fucking telling me to leave the fuck. All right.
Shrug. All right. We're close by. We're getting ready to ship out anyway, so.
No, he'll pick up at a jog now. He'll sort of look around, check the time on his chrono, which is a fucking watch, and sort of hustle over to the bay. As you guys enter, you see that a couple of things have changed. A lot of the equipment in here is gone, or that was in here. Most of the chimeras, a good portion of the Valkyries. You see a few pieces of equipment that have been recovered or damaged. As you enter, there is the smell of burning promethium and petrol and fuel, the smell of charred flesh and blood. You see that there's a small triage station set up with a number of these drop ships. These ones still of the Valkyrie model, but a different type. These ones look to be troop carriers acting as medical frigates. And give me an awareness check from the party. It'll be straight.
Awareness.
Now with 2 checks in there, that gives me plus 20. Is that right?
Plus 10.
10 with 2 checks.
Yes. The first check just takes away the negative 20.
Gotcha.
So with no checks, I have a negative 20. Good to
Yep.
know. I am not the most aware.
So I got 27 from Barbosa, 41 from Spaz, or Lothos. Okay.
That didn't have the ring.
Yeah, and I suppose it would make sense. Barbosa, as you're watching these triage ships unload, you notice that there's actually 2 piles. There's one that's actually triage, and one of just corpses. But they're not... It looks like they're gathering up, like, if the Churgeon, however you pronounce it, who's working on the triage gate, like, has to amputate someone's arm, he'll toss it on the pile with the corpses, not, like, in one of the biohazard bins. where they're putting like bloody rags and bandages and like entrails and shit like that. If it's like a structurally sound body part, it is saved.
I'm assuming for service or construction.
What?
I'm assuming for service or construction.
You might know that. I'm not sure if your character would.
Well,
But it'd be a safe assumption, yeah.
These doors all over the place.
You have
You
seen
know, I know
that.
that there, you know,
Yeah.
that was people once.
You have seen quite a few arcoflagellants as well. So maybe this guy does reclaim the bodies.
Yeah.
But it's weird because they're guardsmen. So he shouldn't own them. And you would know that, even with your rudimentary exposure to the Imperial Guard as a frontiersman. Like, bodies aren't always recovered, but when they are, it's a big deal. So who knows? But stock and barrel will lead you over to.
Sadly, I have no sense of justice whatsoever, so I just be like, well, what can we do? What do you know?
Stock and barrel will lead you over to a small squadron of Valkyries, and these ones are look like they're prepping to load up. Their bay doors are down. The guns are being checked over by guardsmen, while a pack of tech priests are blessing and praying over the machine spirits, blessing and asking for a safe flight, for that their weapon systems work. The myriad of thousands of prayers and blessings that must be placed upon any machine before it is actually utilized. You see another pack of these cookie cutter guardsmen. These ones look a little different, though. You'll notice that these guys, stock and barrel, they look very just benign. Once you get past everything and you see like the thousands of them running around the ship, you're kind of like, yep, whatever, it's another fucking guardsman. Some of these guys look different. They've got different gear or modifications or trophies or things that the normal guardsmen just wouldn't be issued, things that they've picked up. You notice that the one who does have lieutenant markings, he's wearing not just the full respirator, he's also wearing an officer's cap over it with this sort of aquila of the golden eagle upon it. You see that he has 2 robotic legs. He's carrying what looks like a very ornate looking heavy saber, as well as a strange looking auto pistol. It looks like it also has an extended magazine. He's got a myriad of badges and medals just hanging and clinking off of his uniform. They look dirty. Some of them are burned or charred, or bits of them are missing, but it seems as though like displaying the medals is more of a symbol of honor than owning the medal itself. And he'll sort of look up from this map that he has laid out, and it looks like he was giving a briefing to his squadron. Look at stock and barrel. Through his private comm, you'll see that they're talking to each other. Both of the guardsmen will snap to salutes. They're motioning, obviously having conversation, explaining what's going on. And you'll see that the lieutenant will sort of stand up and fiddle around with the right side of his mask. There'll be a hiss of escaping gas. He will move to remove his respirator, and we're going to go on break. Where we left off, thanks for coming back after the break. It was probably a lot shorter for you than it is for us. We're back, and we're here to see how these guys handle meeting this Imperial Guard lieutenant as he pulls away his respirator to reveal a surprisingly normal-looking face. He's got a few scars, blue eyes, blonde hair, a very Captain America sort of looking guy. Looks tired. He's got like a day-old scruff growing on his face. But other than that, he looks like a normal human, and the robo legs. But
Oh, okay, so he got robot legs. Okay,
yeah, he got robo legs.
Okay, it's like this guy seems pretty, solid for somebody that's been in war in this universe.
No, he has no legs.
Yeah. Okay.
You're not sure how far up they extend, but yeah, they're nice. They're definitely worthy of his rank, but they're not like as nice as the captain's.
Is his name like Captain Danielis or something like that?
You guys haven't met this guy yet.
That was a Captain Dan, no legs. Captain
Oh.
Dan, you ain't got no legs.
Lieutenant Dan? It could be Lieutenant Dan. Yeah, he'll actually tuck his respirator helm under his arm. Lieutenant Daniels, Steel Legion. Lieutenant. I understand that you must be some of the new acolytes. I saw the dropship bring you all in. Welcome to the Inquisitor's service. Stock and barrel. They've informed me of your need of reconnaissance of the city. We don't know much. We know that Alpheus is a agri-world. They farm some sort of starchy grain and water, almost like Terran rice. Most of the natural buildings during the Reconquest or that were there before the Reconquest are made of wood. And these sort of strange planks that they farm from the natural plants on the planet. Imperial additions to the city are mostly steel or crete, but we've been tasked with assisting the planetary defense forces as well as some of the Imperial Guard regiments that were in the system with their assaults. So far, they've been stopped. Sort of draw on your guys' map. Pull it up real quick. On the eastern front, he'll draw a big curve, pretty much sectioning off the entire area. Because we've been bombarding the shanty town outside of the city limits for a few days now, where the heretical uprising was believed to have started. It's mostly just no man's land now, but every now and then a few of them try to push Imperial Guard lines. In the west, the terrain is swampy, boggy. Armor can't pierce through it, and ground assault is, a death trap. They lost a few platoons getting mowed down by heretical machine gun emplacements, heavy stubber emplacements. The north and south are main pushes. Imperial Guardsmen have secured the roads to the south, but they are meeting heavy resistance and trying to hold the line as much as they can. The north is strange. We don't go near it.
You are saying north is strange and to be avoided. Strange how?
Well, as you know, Tech Priest, anyone who turns their gaze from the Emperor's loving light is, their souls belong to the forces of evil now. This heretic uprising, it's possible that one of their strongholds is in the north. And there seems to be some sort of warp influence. Whatever scouting legions we've sent in have not returned or have returned different, wrong, or shelling it. Hopefully, we can just burn it out from orbit.
Fire is good for witches.
Indeed. Are there any specific questions you had, Acolytes?
Why aren't you attacking from the west also? Why not just northeast? South?
The west is covered by a thick mire. It's about waist deep on a normal guardsman. Armor can't get through it, not our chimeras. We could try assaulting from there, but the heavy stubber emplacements that the heretics have set up on that rank are just mow down anything we send in. We've tried a few Valkyrie strikes, but Stubbers have cut down too many for the Inquisitor to want to risk anymore, and Guardsmen regiments we have are mostly light armor or artillery.
How would a small force get through it, you think? Going in, couple men, fit into, maybe possible.
Mm. Well, and he'll sort of lean over the map, trace it over, ask a few of the other guardsmen around questions. You won't hear their responses. You'll hear his because his respirator's off. They're obviously speaking through a microbeat channel that he's still connected to somehow, whether it's a microbeat itself or an implant, you're not sure. Okay. He'll look at the map and chart out a few roads and point towards the south. He says, if I was trying to get into the city, I'd go where our guardsmen are most pushed up, try to coordinate with whatever reserves are there for a solid push through the heretic line. Small force slips past, guardsmen do what guardsmen do. That's your best route in. Well, it's not. Your best route would be a drop ship, but we don't have those.
So it seems like we're a bit screwed when it comes to our aerial entry plan.
Well, you can always try flying in. We are dropping off guardsmen on certain points. You'll understand if I don't completely divulge our tactical maneuvers, but Valkyries can get in and can drop off troops. It's dangerous, but just because the Inquisitor's not allowing us to fly out doesn't mean he's not allowing you to fly out.
Would I know what a grab chute is? Or a parachute? Would I have a concept of that?
You would know, but you're not going to get one from the quartermaster, and they don't have them readily available.
And then parachutes don't exist, right? It's like they forgot how to make parachutes. They only have grab chutes now.
Yeah. It's also, honestly, if you were trying to parachute in, you'd get picked out of the sky.
Yeah.
Or, like, land in a
Halo
fire.
drop.
Yeah. Well, that's, what he's saying. The safest option would be to somehow find your guys' way into a drop ship and get drop potted in.
Yeah.
But the Inquisitor's ship doesn't have those kinds of capabilities.
So, I do have one problem at the moment with the current plan of going in through Valkyrie, and that's more to the point of, obviously it's going to be risky getting in, but also we have to get out through that route. So we're taking two chances at that point. Though if we go in with Imperial Guardmen, it should make exfil easier, though it's riskier for ourselves.
But then they have our scent from the moment we step foot in there. They'll be honest.
Though, considering how well they're keeping the city defended, they'll notice a Valkyrie charging in.
Maybe.
Maybe. We could get by perfectly.
It's a big city, and there's a lot of shit going on. When I say that the Imperial Guard are shelling the Eastern Front, I literally mean, like, they are shelling a, 2-kilometer wide by 60-kilometer tall stretch of land constantly. Like, there is an unending explosion happening.
It's not bad.
And that's what they're going to do until everyone starves to death. Because that's how the Imperial Guard works. Or at least this war master that they have controlling them, their general. So, off the table for a second. You've opened up an additional option. My internet connection is unstable, so we might drop the call. If that happens, we'll deal with it.
You are cutting in and out at the moment, I should note.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just me, but yeah.
let me. I don't have anything I can kill. Whatever. So, you guys now have some more options. Essentially, whatever direction you want to go in. From the east is going to be the Imperial Guard push. The north, who the fuck knows? The south is going to be your on-ground approach. The west,
Sounds like a death trap, honestly.
it's that's probably your sneakiest way in.
Yeah.
Because it is a marsh, and he'll go, Lieutenant Daniels will go into a little more explanation about the terrain. So it's kind of like going through rice paddies. So the depth of the field is going to go between waist height and like shoulder height, or depth rather. So that's why they've set up the machine gun emplacements, so that if any sizable force starts pushing from that, they're just going to mow them down since they can't get cover or move. So it's basically crossing a no man's land.
That would be a great plan. I just don't think, like, looking at the Mechanicus, I don't think we can get by something like that.
His gimp legs.
Yeah.
Feeling a lot of judgment, and I'm not sure how going with that.
The two guys that are decked out just for infiltrating, just look at the Mechanicus.
What does he weigh, like 450 pounds? Like, how much does a mechanic weigh? Just like all the metal strapped to him.
You know what? I'm as heavy as I gotta be, and we'll leave it at that.
He jumps off the drop ship and just sinks.
That's what I'm
Just
saying,
straight.
like, immediately just drowns in mud.
Yeah. And just
If
gone.
you want to be coming in from west, I can handle marshes. That is not a problem. So it may be safest to come in from south if we can find way to blend in on way to city.
Tell you what, we could always just go through the north. See what you see, I happen to be a little bit of an expert with this spooky witch shit. We just take it out, then we don't gotta worry about it later. They say something scary, let's go kill a scary thing.
I do agree with what he's saying, actually. I feel like if there is something nefarious there, it should be dealt with.
That is one of your objectives, is to assist the Imperial Guard however you can. It's not required.
It sounds like if we're going through that route, though, we're going on foot. If I haven't understood correctly.
Maybe. Maybe not.
Good.
I have a
feel like
grappling
that's-
hook. I'm Spider-Man now.
I'm Spider-Man.
It's gonna be like Spider-Man in the park, where he like tries to shoot out to something, but it just goes and then drops into the mud.
And it's like, oh, damn. But that's more up to comrades at this point. Do we want to fly in at this point, or do we want to go in through foot? Through the northern pass.
Captain or Lieutenant Daniels was like, "Who says you have to go in on foot?" Yes. Come with me. And it'll sort of lead you to the corner of this hangar where there's a lot of like piled up crates and shipping containers and unused, broken down servitors that smell a little funky. And there's a large rectangular shape with a tarp over it. He goes, "Now, y'all aren't the first Inquisitors I've worked with. Someone told me to keep this a secret, but technically, the Inquisitor allows all of his acolytes to use it." And I'll whip back the tarp to reveal Acadian auto carriage, which can fit all of you. And Phalos, you actually have the stats for this vehicle in your vehicle section.
Well, looky there. I am liking plan much better now.
So an auto carriage is like a car, basically. So it's just like a fancy old Cadillac. They would just get like a Rolls Royce of the
Well,
40K universe.
It's Cadian, but none of you would probably realize the significance of that. It's also
for Cadia.
Yeah, Reap for Cadia. Let it be known. Let it be known the planet broke before the guard did. Vampira. No. So it's an auto carriage, but it's been heavily modified. It has the enclosed, wheeled, and rugged traits. It's a little more maneuverable than your standard auto carriage, and it's a little better armored. It's not invincible, and it's going to be loud, but it's going to get you in. And it's not going to be like, jet engine loud. It's a fucking car. It's going to be as loud as a car is. Or a truck. Like a lifted fuckboy truck. It's going to be that loud.
Time for some drive-bys. I'm gonna oil my my hand cannon.
Well, I'm going to be useless in conversation for a minute because I'm going to be looking this up.
Cadia stands. Yeah, he'll just sort of lean on it. Like, I'm sure that with your position on this ship, could get you guys dropped off a few kilometers outside of the city, and after that, well, that's none of my business.
I'm gonna go up and like kick the tires and be like,
Looks like north it is then, lads, yeah.
Well, let's hunt us some witches then.
Modius, what are your thoughts on witch hunting as your first expedition with these dickwads?
I would very much like to go through the south with the escort. That's just my opinion. Seems a bit more safe.
All right, let's throw it to a vote. Barbosa. North, south, east, west.
I'm the king of the north.
Okay. Modius.
I prefer the safer intrusion from the south.
Okay. Phalos.
This is a difficult decision. Quickest route to primary objective may be south, but heretics deserve to burn. I think I will say north.
I like the Mechanicus now. I trust him.
Ally gained.
Phalos,
All right.
this.
Lothos.
Remember this. I will say, burn the heretics. Let's go.
All right. You guys want to burn the heretics. So as you're standing around with these guys, these Imperial Guardsmen, and they're looking over the map and going over the plans, Lieutenant Daniels is going to start getting this auto carriage loaded up for you guys. You'll hear faintly at first, almost a whisper above the humdrum and screaming and machine of the bay, just a pure note of an Imperial choir. And then the thudding, exactly. And then the thudding of boots, and then ranting and raving as you see charging into the hangar, and almost everyone just stops what they're doing and stares. You see Brother Karzis just charging in, leading a pack of these arcoflagellants. With a score of these cherubim and servo skulls. The cherubim, these sort of mangly, almost infant-looking corpses on mechanical wings, singing hymns and praises to the God Emperor of Man, intoning his scriptures with sacred talismans that they're placing on the arcoflagellants, as Brother Karzis screaming, "Yes, my brothers, now we go to the great crusade against the witch, the unclean, and the heretic. Come with me, servants of the God King, and let us reap them." And he'll charge onto a dropship. The flagellants will follow, and that dropship will get out of this hangar as fast as it can.
Okay, then.
Well, if that's not motivation, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
I wanted to look over and make sure the carriage is in good shape. I'm gonna assume it is, and also just introduce myself to the machine spirit.
Oh, you want to try and Machine spirit this shit up. Okay.
Yes, I do.
We later find
Oh.
out that that dropship was instantly shot down.
If
There
so,
was a-
Brother Karzis survived.
Yeah, there
That
was
man
only
can't
one
die.
survivor. Okay. Give me. I'm looking at your sheet right now. It's going to be tech use. And I'm looking at your abilities and all that shit, too. Okay. Give me a tech use test. Are you going to use any... Are you going to go, like, full ritual in this, or are you just giving it a quick once-over?
Depends on how much time I have. Because if we've got a minute, then yeah, I'm going to go full ritual. But if they're like, we got to go, then I'll just...
This isn't something you rush.
Then yeah.
Like, introducing yourself to a machine spirit. It's like a spiritual experience.
Let me reverse that for a second, and with my new updated 40k lore knowledge, say, damn them and whatever they think we should be doing in a rush. This is
Yep.
important.
Yeah, you're the tech priest. Fuck them. Right.
Full on ritual.
This will use one of your sacred unguents. Unguents, however you fucking pronounce that word.
I will mark off that I have one sacred unguent now.
So as you set up, you bring out the small chimes and intone in the techno babble of your people, linking into the spirit of the machine, reaching out with your own sort of machine spirit. And give me the roll. It's going to be tech use minus 10. You got a 98. Wow. Okay. Well, you didn't get 100, so that's good. You are instantly just shot back by this machine spirit. It is... You do glean a few before you're forcibly ejected from this system. And there's actually, those of you watching these guardsmen sort of prepare to load this thing up, there'll be just a sort of rumble from the machine, a shifting of metal and gears. You guys know this thing isn't alive, or at least, you know, those of you who aren't a tech priest know it's a machine, right? But that fucking car just moved by itself. And Phalos, you just get this sense of an unbearable weight of pain and loss and anger from this machine spirit. Nothing else other than that. So.
Well, I am openly but silently weeping for it.
All right. As you guys watch this tech priest, you don't see any effect on him from the car, but there's a jerking and a spasming, probably just a technobabble binary, screech as he's forcibly ejected from this machine. What are you guys doing as you're watching the guardsmen sort of load this big, chonky-ass truck onto this dropship?
I lean into Barbosa. Is that supposed to be normal? Do they do that often?
So I'm assuming on the frontier worlds, there's a few tech priests, but they're probably kind of crazy, outlander, kind of, like the ones that didn't really get along in the order, it's kind of an outcast thing. So I'm like,
them things is really weird, man. To be honest with you, they always be doing strange things. Gotta be careful. Sometimes they just explode.
It's true. Sometimes they do just explode.
Well, it's not too late to change our plot and maybe fly in with the guard.
Have you ever been on a witch hunter, my three-eyed friend? No, yes. Tell you what, it is a different experience, you will see. It is very good for soul.
My hesitation is very noticeable.
Well, he's not judging you for being a mutant, so that's always a plus.
Okay. Yeah.
everyone I know is a mutant. I'm on a frontier world.
Dirty. Yeah, for instance, tech priests.
Is it I'm a mutant? Or have mutations?
Wait, what?
Is it that visibly obvious that everyone would all
Oh,
know
you're-
off the bat?
Navigators are sanctioned mutants. So you're kind of like a sanctioned tech priest.
Okay.
In the regard that you're accepted within the Imperium. But you're a navigator, so you're also not like common rabble. Like,
Right.
navigators are respected and they do have a lot of wealth, influence, and power, so it wouldn't be the same as if you were like a street rat merchant who grew a fucking tail. Where some people would just kill you on sight. Like, they know you're mutant and they don't really trust you or like you, but they're not gonna like shoot you.
You're necessary. You're needed. You're important.
Yeah.
I'm only here as long as I'm useful, I suppose.
That's true of everybody in the Inquisition.
Yeah.
Very
yeah.
fair.
And I will say, dealing with your tertiary objectives might get you a little more clout with the Inquisitor.
I just like killing witches.
Who doesn't? All right. We're still voting for the North, so I didn't think you guys would do that. Okay.
I mean, I want to go to the south, but I'm not Phalos.
Yeah.
The north involved a vehicle and killing
north-
witches.
Yeah.
I'm all about it.
You just bribed the tech priest with a car.
Granted, we could probably take the car to the south, but
No. You can always just go this way. But if you go this way, you get a cookie.
No. And that means, like, in the Inquisition, a cookie is the chance to kill a heretic.
Mm.
'Cause that's what you're here for.
Cookie of all.
Exactly.
That means he got 2 cookies. He got a car and a heretic killing.
Yeah.
Lucky bastard.
Sometimes the body parts will do strange things. It's funny.
Okay.
Another one of Rose's amazing quotes. Hold on, I need to write that down.
Okay. That's a woman, that is.
That was pretty great.
That is
Were
what?
there other
A woman?
things that we needed to be doing before heading to planet? I am not thinking so, but it's why I'm asking.
Want some grub? We're gonna get some food around here.
Lieutenant Daniels will, like, look at you and then look at his men loading the auto carriage into the car. At the mess hall during... There's... Acolyte, I'm afraid you might not understand the gravity of what's going on outside.
Oh, come on, just a nibble. You got a ration or something? I ain't eaten in like 2 days, mate.
Like, just look kind of dumbfounded for a second and, like, fucking call over one of his men and, like, grab a ration pack out of their bag and toss it to you. Like,
How can you be hungry in a time like this?
Good looking. Much appreciated.
Or just like open up the ration and just take like a bite out of it.
Cornstarch, my favorite.
it's very starchy, yes. Okay. After some time and the proper intonations of blessings of travel and safe passage and so on and so forth, the Cadian auto carriage is loaded up in. Would you guys like to ride in the carriage or just in the ship itself?
I don't want to be in the carriage. We're
Yeah, I'd rather be in the carriage,
mad at the
honestly.
tech priest.
I mean,
Ready
you
to
talk about
go.
those two options like one of them is viable and one of them is also viable. It's false. The carriage is the only viable option.
You can be in both ships.
I'm in both of them at once. Huzzah.
Modius?
I will default to my compatriots' knowledge beyond what I'm used to at this point.
Well, we're all getting in the carriage.
All right, you guys load up. Who's driving?
Yep.
I don't think any of us even knows how to drive, except maybe the tech priest.
I 100% know how to drive.
He's actually made to drive.
Oh, nice.
I would
Right.
have looked around
But the
and
car hates him.
pretended to ask, but I saw you fumble with the data slate, so I'm just gonna get in the chair.
Yeah, as you take the proper command seat in this vehicle, and you're trying to coax the machine spirit into obeying you and listening to you, and you still sense this hostile presence. You just can't get comfortable in the seat. It just doesn't fit right, and the steering wheel feels like jerky, and I don't know. You don't know. It's a wild stallion of a machine spirit.
Well, we'll have to figure out a way to cooperate together.
Okay. All right.
We'll tame the
Anything-
beast.
Anything else before you guys?
Is it like unpleasant for any of the rest of us, or is it just the tech priest that's picking up on this? Does it feel like haunted? Is this like the Doom Mobile, or is it just
Feels like you're riding in a hearse.
I don't have a problem. This is death. That's all.
Like, it's got a bad vibe to it, but it's not like, evil.
Well, I've probably got a bad vibe, so I'm fine with that. Then I'll stay in the carriage.
You definitely have a bad vibe.
From the beginning.
I don't think many of us actually have a good vibe.
You're all bad people.
What are you
Alright.
talking about? I am a religious man. I am one of the best people in the universe. I am religious. I am truth. Okay then.
Well, kind of.
Kind of.
No, I'm good to go.
Good.
On the
Anyone
way there,
else?
Lothos will be praying.
As you should.
Yes. As you all should be.
I'm just gonna pull out an old oil rag and just oil everything.
Oil in the lock, the fucking light switch, the goddamn, glove box.
Oh, my guns. Just
Oh.
my guns. Gonna be
Fuck
like
the car.
Yeah, I don't care about the car. Fuck that car.
Fuck the ancient relic Cadian car. Okay, I see. Remember
I
that
don't know
World
what the
of
fuck
Dark?
it is.
Yeah. You should.
Car gets more pissed off. Oh no.
All right. So after preparations are made, a small troop of guardsmen are going to load up on the dropship with you guys. Two of them are going to man these large, heavy bolters at the port and starboard side of the dropship. These doorways are obviously shuttered, closed right now, but it looks like they will open upon planet entry. And as the lights go down and there's the chime of the system starting, the rev of the engines as it starts up, most of the guardsmen are praying as well, just sort of head between their legs or between their hands or clasp around religious iconography or their weapons. A few of them are checking, mag packs, almost in a fixation sort of repetition. One guy is just sort of, he just lit a low stick as soon as he got in and is just staring at nothing, sort of just hand on his las carbine. These guys are hardened motherfuckers, which is obvious just by their, appearance and just feel like they're guardsmen and they're obviously not new to this shit. But whatever's going on this planet has them rattled. Like maybe they don't know as much as you do, but they know something bad's happening. But sucks for them, because as they sort of take a deep, shaky breath, you feel yourselves lift off the ground and out through the void shields of the ship. Instantly, you are catapulted back into that sort of endless silence, as the only sounds are those coming from the interior of the ship, the low murmurings of the guardsmen as they pray for the God King to oversee their passage and travels and guide their shot for true strength. Just countless numbers of these from these guys. You'll see that The two manning the heavy bolters are sort of double checking the load. These large bolter shells, these 40 millimeter rocket propelled explosives that fire out of these things. The ship's made for one thing, dropping you guys off as fast and doing as much destruction as humanly possible in that time. As you continue towards the planet, this one's a little different than the ship you guys flew to the ship in. There's a separation between the cockpit and the storage area where you guys are. But if you wish, you could get out of the carriage and try to look around, but that's completely up to you. You'll have about 20 minutes.
Well then, we're going to have plenty of time. And with that, Lothos is going to activate his howler.
Oh, your fucking skull?
Yep, and it's just going to start blurting out verses and everything like that.
So as you guys are sitting in this carriage, either, thinking about what's coming, oiling your weapons, just trying to get your head straight on exactly what's just transpired over the last few hours, you're probably not really paying attention too much to Lothos as he's rummaging around in this satchel and pulls out this small gold-encrusted servo skull with purity seals and intonations of scripture on it. Fiddle around for a second, and then just at max volume inside this auto carriage, this thing just starts screaming hymns and verses of the Cult of the Emperor at you guys, and begins flying around the auto carriage, just like proclaiming these truths to you.
This is my peace and quiet.
Well, if we've got a few minutes, I don't know how much I can actually get done, but I want to just give it a once-over and see if there's a reason the machine spirit's upset, or if maybe it just doesn't like me, and that's possible.
Is
What
it
lore-
possible? Oh, go ahead.
What lores do you have?
I have Imperial Guard and Adeptus Mechanicus.
Okay, you have Imperial Guard. That's good. Give me an Imperial Guard check with a plus 20.
I do only have the one rank, so that's that. Intelligence. So 56 is what I got.
56 your target. Okay. As you're sitting there, sort of looking at this thing, and you're like, auto carriage, Cadian auto carriage. Cadia. It clicks. Cadia was one of the planets destroyed by Abaddon the Despoiler in one of his great Black Crusades, essentially where he has emerged from the Eye of Terror to battle the Imperium for the forces of chaos. Cadia was the world that stood in his way. The entire planet overtaken by the forces of chaos, a global battle. And Cadia holds a special place in the hearts of the Guardsmen because it's said that up until the point where Abaddon split the planet in half, Cadians still fought on as the halves of the planet drifted through space. So it's this huge testament to the Imperial Guard. And, their battle cry is, let it be known that Cadia broke before the Guard did. So this thing's like, the fact that someone got it off of Cadia, this is, it's almost a relic. It's almost holy in what it is. Not just to, the fact that it's a machine. It would be probably less impressive to you than it would be to, someone with an Imperial Guard background. But you recognize the significance of it to a Cult of the Emperor person.
Okay. Well, in addition to the normal just tech priest prayer, because I would be joining in that, just essentially see if I can communicate with it a little and just kind of get it on my team. We're here to kill heretics for the Imperium, the will of the God Emperor. This is divine purpose.
Okay.
And the
Give me-
reason you made it off-world.
Give me another tech use -10 to try and integrate again. I'm gonna guess that's above your target.
Yeah, -10 would be
Yeah.
26.
So again, it just doesn't seem interested in interfacing with you or
Okay.
sort of allowing you to access its machine spirit. It's very guarded sort of thing. Think of like an abused dog or a dog that's been in dog fights.
I got you.
Like it's ready to kill some fucking heretics,
Well, I'll
but
take that as a start.
yeah, it's gonna do it on its terms.
Fair enough.
That's on a pretty girl. Won't give you a number.
All right. Anyone else doing anything during this excursion?
As soon as the howler starts flying around, I'm going to quickly excuse myself from the auto carriage and close the door before it can escape. And then I wanted to see if I could go up and like to the cockpit or whatever and like see the planet as like we're coming in closer, just like see if I could do any kind of like aerial reconnaissance or something like that.
Yeah. So you quickly sort of slip your way out of the vehicle, shutting the screaming servo skull inside. And sort of looking around the guardsmen. A few of them have sort of calmed down. They're getting ready. Either checking their respirators or loading a fresh charge pack. You know, some of the same shit they were doing earlier, but they seem to have sort of gotten into the flow now. They know what's about to happen, and they've sort of come to peace with it. You make your way through the ship. There's not a lot of room with the auto carriage in there, but there's enough for you to sort of slide around and not have to like push past these guardsmen as you make your way towards the cockpit door. A few of them will sort of look at you as you're passing by and like make a motion as if to say something, and then like kind of be like, can I do that? Isn't he? Whatever, not my problem. And it's not their problem. That seems to be the general consensus. But as you make your way to the cockpit, you'll open the door. It's not a very large cockpit. There's two pilots, a large sort of command station in front of them with a myriad of lights and gauges and programs feeding out into real time, and just so much shit going on. These guys are fused in to these cockpit seats by cables and tubes pumping into neural interfaces and helping them guide and control the pitch and angle of the ship as you're navigating through what you see now through this shielded but still visible cockpit screen is what you first thought to be an asteroid field as you moved in just from the impacts on the hull of your shuttle. You now realize are scraps of ships and bodies of the crew as you're floating through this huge naval battle. And you're thinking, how the fuck does a agri planet have this many ships to fight for it? It's an interesting.
Can I tell the difference between like the different wreckages? Is there like any like colors or distinguishing markings on any of the ships? Like, let me tell like if there's two different factions or what's going on.
Probably not, since you don't have a lot of experience with the Imperial Navy or space. It's pretty obvious which ones are Imperium, just because of their iconography and layout and just general look of them. The Inquisitor ship is very similar, although his is a little shinier. The other ships, they just don't look right. There's nothing inherently wrong with them. But just like even you with your, background and talents, let's say, like just looking at these ships, it's somewhere you don't want to step foot, and you kind of are just like subconsciously willing the pilots to steer as clear of these ships as possible. As you guys continue your approach, you see the planet come into better view now. Large swaths of it seem to be burning. Huge plumes of smoke the size of countries are blossoming up into the atmosphere, and you seem to be centered around one of the largest ones. Less fire, which is nice, but seems to be some sort of focal point. Even just from this view, you get to see this spider web of cities and roads as you're beginning to make planetfall. The shaking of the shuttle intensifies. Warning boxes go off, and we need to roll to see if your pilot can fly this ship. Oh, you guys are fucking lucky. Okay. So your pilots, Barbosa, as you're watching, you're like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, planetfall. Like, you're seeing the fire begin to like meld and these sirens go off, warning alarms. The pilots, though, they're not even breaking a sweat. They're just slowly moving over this console, adjusting settings and speeds, resistance. You'll see flaps open up to slow your arrival, and slowly but surely the alarms all cut out, and you see this vast plain before you. On one side, the lines and trenches of the Imperial Guard dug in, heavy basilisk artillery pieces just firing endlessly, shells streaking across the sky and pummeling what may have once just been the sort of steepled, think like the rice paddies you see in like China, the mountainous parts of China, where they have the tiers going down the mountains. There's these just varying heights. The terrain isn't equal. It's very dipping and hilly, but they've built these sort of agricultural marvels to sort of produce as much food as possible, as the Imperium most likely dictated before their rebellion. You see that where this artillery has been hitting is this huge, just boiling mud pit, almost. Just the constant heat from the explosions and impact just turning it into a sea of frothing mud. From the height, you could probably see a few las guns just blinking back and forth there, bright red beams just stitching across this lake, which seems to be the very front line. To the south, you see wreckage, mostly. Scores of bodies in a no man's land where the guard pushed through and cemented their sort of concrete foothold at the southern sort of edge of the city. To the west, these endless fields of the just flowing green, sort of grass-like tops of these agricultural plants. It looks peaceful, but you know from Lieutenant Daniels that that's a killing field, and who knows how many Imperial Guard corpses are floating just beneath this sea of green. But your guys' destination is to the north. And as you're flying through all of this gunfire and explosions, and now it is very loud inside of the Valkyrie, there is tracer fire. As soon as you guys make atmospheric planetfall, these guardsmen are going to wrench open the doors, cock back on the bolts of this bolter, and just begin thrumming rounds into enemy lines. Just doing as much widespread panic and damage as they can to the heretic lines. You guys head north, past this bright, glistening spire that you probably at this point, now that you're looking at it, assume is where Lady Brigio is housed. But the north is quiet. Silent. There's a low fog hanging over the entire city just from the humidity of the steam and gunfire and explosions and smoke of the artillery. There's a low-hanging, dense fog over everything, but here, it's thicker. There's a miasma almost, and it stretches out from the northern district, probably a radius of about 20 kilometers. So it's deep. And you guys actually will circle the city once, get a good view of it, and then begin your travel north. After a few more minutes of travel, there will be a green light in the back. The guardsmen will sort of saddle up, get their stuff ready, load up, grab onto the sort of handlebars and walking stations that allow them to grip as they move through the ship and get to the back door, unhitching and preparing your auto carriage for drop off.
I'll go ahead and head back towards the carriage at that point and, go over and make sure all my guns are loaded one last time and everything and be like ready to go, just go and run over there.
Do you tell them what you saw?
I was not when it's more organic, I will.
Okay. All right. Do you guys do anything else as the green light comes on? And you guys assume that this is where we're gonna get boots on the ground finally.
I mean,
Odeus is probably still sitting in his chair, bolted in, eyes closed, and still in prayer, I suppose.
Okay. As the light switches over to yellow, the guardsmen will begin doing hand motions and signs. They'll load up. You'll see from where you guys are sitting in the carriage, you're facing forward to the front of the ship. You guys are going to have to back out of the drop ship. You're facing the gunners. And as you're watching him, he's sort of smiling, having fun, just shuddering with the recoil of this. His head just explodes. Gone. There's actually a spatter of viscera as the mist from what was once his skull goes across the windshield. The other guardsman will turn, and you'll see him just motioning towards the others. One of the other guardsmen from the back of the ship will run over and jump on the gun and take it back up, sort of just kicking this guardsman body out of the dropship as you guys are still just whipping across the ground. And he'll take up firing as well. On the left side of the ship, you'll just hear a and you'll see just holes get burst out of the side of the ship as some sort of heavy gun is firing at you, but your pilot is a fucking ace, apparently.
Good for him. He's fucking.
And you guys will just go from a horizontal, almost sort of angled downwards, like a helicopter going quickly, to a flat just drop. Now, you guys are cinched down, so you're not going to go tumbling in the auto carriage, but this guy just points the nose directly at the ground. A few of the guardsmen will tumble back, either not being able to grab handholds or whatever, and you'll see them sort of smash against this outer wall of the cockpit. One of them doesn't move afterwards. It looks like his neck is probably broken. The other one sort of catches himself and sort of hugs onto the netting as tight as he can. The gunners are just holding onto their bolters for dear life, trying not to get flung out of these open chutes. And after a second or two, when you guys are sure you're about to just plumb into the ground, this pilot will just wrench up on his joystick and level you guys out. You'll feel just a deep shuddering as the base of this gunship just skids across the ground and whips. And you'll see the light change to red and that port in the back begin to open.
Would I have made it back to the
Yes.
carriage before all this happened?
Yes,
At this
you-
point, Lothos will have grabbed his howler and said, "It does seem like the God Emperor is with us today."
Yeah, those are some of the best rolls I've ever seen on a fucking flying check.
Can we get this pilot again, please?
Yeah, this fucking ace.
I want to know this guy's name after this fucking mission. Hopefully this is the guy picking us up.
All right, as the door drops, you see that while you're away from the city, you aren't out of the fight. There's small little buildings that, spread out from every civilization and city and metropolis on every planet. And you seem to have dropped in a small little hamlet. The fortifications are ramshackle, and they've been cleared through by the guardsmen already, but it seems that there was a small pocket of resistance. And as you guys back out of the dropship and these guardsmen sort of begin firing out to cover you, there's a few guardsmen in front of you in your vehicle. What would you all like to do? Because they're surprised as you are that you are not dead. You guys are all in the car. and you're behind the wheel, engine's going. You can just drive away if you want, or you can try and dismount, or you can run them over. What would you like to do?
I want to roll down the window, stick my sniper rifle out, and return fire.
Okay.
I would also like to do the same.
Okay.
I mean, if these are heretic guards and this vehicle can take it,
the vehicle cannot take it. This vehicle cannot get like shot up and shrug it off. It's a modified vehicle, but it is still like
just a car.
it's got some
Then I will
armor on
not
it. It can
ram
it can shrug off. Oh, you could ram them. That's not gonna hurt it.
Okay.
I mean, I was thinking if you just wanted to like sit there and like try to turtle up.
I don't want to stay here.
I would like to just stare at them
Yeah.
and intimidate them with my engine.
The guards in front of us are friendly guards, not evil guards, right?
The guards are still in the ship. They are not getting off.
Yeah.
They were here to escort you.
I thought
Oh,
it
so
was
the people in
just
front of us are enemies?
Yes.
Bro, floor it.
Yeah, no.
I'm going to lean out and I'm going
Too
to start
metal.
dumping.
Yeah, let's fucking unload on these guys.
Okay. And there is vehicle combat rules.
Woo!
Well, I am not super familiar with them, but I would prefer it if they heavily favored the guy in the vehicle. We'll see.
Love how this just turned into like an episode of GTA Online. Ram people and people hanging out the windows. Pop, 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 pop.
I literally bookmarked it earlier. Why is it not?
I mean, I'm picturing 18 because I can't help but picture this car as like a 1930s, like the overdone.
Here we go, here we
fenders,
go.
Spare tire on the side.
Now I really
It-
want this to be the van from the A-Team.
Okay. So, you want to ram them.
Indeed, I do.
Okay. It's going to be a -5 operate test.
And I do have 2 ranks in operator. You already
Okay. So that's going to be a +15 to your roll.
This is agility, so that makes 49.
While he's doing this, Modius, what did you want to do?
I am probably kind of just sitting back behind Barbosa with my short range ass fucking lamp pistol. If anything comes close enough, I might take a shot, but I'm more using my friends for cover at this point.
Okay. So,
I am rolling so terribly. I'm sorry.
that is not good.
That is, ooh,
98 and a 99 tonight.
damn.
And immediately the car explodes, rolling.
Well, we've established the car doesn't like me, so
Question, can you use fate to reroll?
I actually do have a thing.
Yes,
for
you
that.
can. You can use a fate point to reroll.
I think
Or
that's
like
a tech priest thing, yeah.
As an ace.
anything. Yeah,
I
any
can
fate
use-
point can reroll.
I can use a fate point to automatically succeed and operate.
That would be this.
survival skill.
Yeah, that would-
let's,
that would-
let's do that.
That's the good one to use it for.
Okay, so mark that you're down 1 fate point. It's not burned, but you're down 1.
Somewhere on this sheet, I'm sure. Fate point.
By the way, how does the fate threshold that
So, when you...
fate level or whatever, where it's like 7?
That's a new thing for 2E. It's weird. I think it just limits how many fate points you can have. Which makes sense, but... yeah, so if you die, you burn a fate point, you never get it back. We're working to do a quick little segue into the future of this show, everyone. I hope you're still watching. We're going to be doing kind of like the inspiration and health pots for the HOTA stuff. We're going to be doing stuff for here. So keep your eyes out for that. Role play and do good, and maybe the fans will buy you some. But you're ramming shit. 1d10 armor. What's the armor points of the car?
Armor points of the car. I have 3 numbers: 15F, 10S, and 8R.
Okay, so roll a d10. Okay. So you do 23 points of damage to one cultist. He's gonna fucking die. Lothos and Barbosa, go ahead and give me your shots. You can, if you're, be sure to look up your actions. You get one full action. So you can aim if you can. If you can, like some weapons, I think it's a full action to shoot, but I think those are heavy weapons.
Yeah.
Um,
If I'm correct, the current weapons I have at least the sniper rifle and the stud pistol. Both, you can both either choose to aim for your full action or half action and fire on your half action.
Yep, and if you aim, it's going to be a +10, but it's going to be a -10 to this roll because you guys are whipping your way out of a drop ship in a high-moving vehicle with a cultist that has just been splattered across your hood.
I see. Okay, then. So
it's going to be a -10 skill and then plus whatever bonuses you guys get.
hit.
In my experience, it does work pretty well. The weapons, at least, for not for rolling multiple for damage, but for rolling hit, it tends to work pretty well.
What range are we at for shooting these guys?
You guys are probably like 50 meters away, if that.
For sniper rifle, that's close range, so I think that's +20.
It goes short range is +10, point blank is +30, standard range is 0. So I'd say this is short range.
10.
Short range, yeah.
+10. Okay, so like basically negates the -10.
Third, and then modifier 10, and then submit. So target was 55.
Okay, so you hit.
Okay, and then roll damage. 11 points of damage.
Pen 3. Damn. All right. And Barbosa, I'm pretty sure that's going to make your shot go wide.
Let's see. So hang on, maybe not.
Maybe not.
Maybe not.
It's a 92? Okay.
This guy is a crack shot.
That is his thing. Like,
You can turn a 92 into a 0. Trust me, I've seen it before. I have not. Question, what class is Barbosa? I believe he's the same as I am, assassin.
he's a desperado.
Ah, Desperado.
He gets some. He's basically what Kyle would have been if Kyle had focused on guns. How's your math looking, Zach? Was it miss or not?
Yeah, it's a miss.
Okay. So,
Close, but it's a miss.
Yeah, so as you take a shot, yours goes a little wide, just the speed, and these guys do have a little bit of cover. Looking at these cultists as you guys are driving by, it's sort of happening in slow motion just from the adrenaline and absurdity of what's happening right now. You see that they have these big sort of pot bellies, the skin sort of stretched out and bloated. Their eyes look milky. Their arms sort of lanky and starved. Certain portions of their body look bloated and obese, where other certain parts look malnourished and just desiccated. They're holding a variety of weapons. They look to be low-tech mostly, stubbers, hand cannons, auto pistols, stuff like that. One guy just has a fucking club. But you see just the madness roiling out of their eyes. And you see it particularly as this Cadian auto carriage, Phalos, as you just gun the engine, it seems to let out almost like a battle cry as it just rips forward across this terrain, rough and rugged as it is with the shattered buildings and broken glass. You just kick up this spit of rocks as you charge forward, and this cultist literally just implodes upon the grill of this thing. Crumpling as the engine seems to rev as the blood spreads across it and enjoy in the righteous slaughter of these heretics. Meanwhile, Lothos and Barbosa, you guys just whip the windows down as much as you can and pop out with your long rifles. Lothos, your sniper rifle, just finding a speed on this fucking cultist. And you almost crit. Just actually, yeah, I need you to roll a d100 to see where it hits.
Okay then.
Your pin doesn't. So usually we would do this just for the future, guys. So if you hit, you have to roll where it hits because that's going to affect armor and soak and stuff like that. But with a pin 3, these guys aren't going to have any armor rating enough to beat that. They're still going to get their toughness, but these guys are weak cultists. So you're going to see the round just sort of cave in this sort of flabby, bloated chest cavity on one, and he's just going to let out just a spray of blood from his mouth as he just sort of clutches at the hole in his bristling rib cage poking out and just plucks at it as he falls to the ground as you guys just go whipping by. Do you guys continue as you ran past him, or are you going to try and like set up and fight?
How many does there seem to be at the moment? Just pretty much going right past them and like.
Give me a -20 awareness.
Ooh, I don't even think I could pass that. -20 awareness, and I already get a -20 because it's not my skill, so that's
-40.
Yeah.
You could get it if you roll a 1.
Okay, then I'll see if I can do it. Let's see if I can roll a 1.
Nope.
It's
It's a good
close,
roll.
though.
But
Yeah. You can't get a good count. There were at least 4 when you guys ran past them, 2 of them taken out. But that caliber of weapon that punched through that Valkyrie side, it's definitely nothing these guys are holding, so there might be a heavy weapons emplacement somewhere around here.
Yeah, so sitting still is probably not a good idea.
Well, there are 2 questions that come to mind. Firstly, as far as I know, we were being dropped north of the town, but south of whatever was north.
You're north of the town. The miasma is to your south, which is at the north of the town.
Okay, so what we wanted to do...
You guys got to travel south. Yes.
Okay.
You guys are not in the miasma at the moment.
And are we currently headed south? Which way am I going?
I don't know. Where are you going?
Well, I just don't know what direction I'm pointed. My goal would be to head south. I just don't know if I'm aiming south.
You guys are pointed south.
Handy. The other question is, how does this machine spirit feel about heading south, or does it want more blood? Because that also factors into my decision.
Yeah.
Blood for the car.
Blood for the car god.
Blood for the blood car. Skulls for the skull car.
Oil for the rim throne.
Because essentially, I'm going to plan south, but I'm treating this as you've got a dog that doesn't want to follow you when you're on a walk, so you kind of meet him halfway. You're like, yeah, you can come over and smell this thing, but ultimately we got to go this way. So I'm trying to find like an equilibrium of...
The car is going to obey what you tell it to do.
And then we're heading south.
I kind of like the idea of you just like doing donuts while we just lean out the car door. And just
Until one of them
fucking cultists as they come out. Bah! Bah!
Until one of them pulls out a crack grenade from their fucking asshole and blows up your car.
Oh no.
Roll new acolytes.
At least we went out in a blaze of glory.
You
See
did
you
what
next
you're
time,
supposed
folks.
to do.
We died the way we were meant to.
All right. Do you just want to travel standard, or are you trying to like gun it out of this ambush zone?
I want to get out of the hail of bullets, and then we'll slow down and pay attention to where we're headed.
As you floor it, Modius, go ahead and do your weapons skill. -10. Or your ballistic skill, rather, if you're shooting at them. You cannot hit them with the whip outside of the car.
Fair enough.
Grab one by the neck as we drive by and just drag it.
You're coming with us.
Yeah,
bitch.
you can try to do that with a fucking -60.
If you get away with it, though.
Gain fate point.
Okay. Wow, you got a really good ballistic skill. Yeah, so, and you did prepare the shots of the aim. Yeah, that looks like it should check out. So, as you're driving by, go ahead and, you crit.
Oh,
Yeah.
fucking.
So, we get to pull up the crit table. So, roll a D100. to see where it hits.
91.
Okay. What does that say? It should.
I believe it's the leg. I think it's the right leg, if I remember correctly.
Right. Yep. Or left leg. So left leg energy damage. All right.
You melt off his fucking leg, man.
So as you're driving by, you see these guys, this rugged looking, just smelling outlaw miss his shot. You see the assassin, make theirs, of course. There's blood, there's screaming, there's gunfire. You're just very calm. You just slowly roll down the window, point with your last pistol, and take a shot. Instantly, one of the remaining cultists, his leg explodes. Like, actually just explodes, like it was struck by lightning. Fragments of bone and flesh and viscera go hurtling off. Every target within 2 meters suffers 1d10 plus 2 impact damage.
Fuck yeah.
So, d10 plus 2. So 5 to a random location. They do have 1 armor, so it's going to be 4. It's not going to be enough to kill the remaining 2. They are going to be peppered with this, and you'll see just this bone literally shred parts of their skin as they, like, scream and, like, sort of try to pluck at it. Like, as this guy's fucking dead. Like, the shock of his leg being gone instantly. But you get the plus 10 rule. That was the 9 rule for damage for a crit. As above, if the target is carrying ammunition, it detonates. And they were using low-tech weapons. So he does have a pouch of hand cannon ammo. And it's going to explode, doing 1d10 plus 5 impact damage to each target within 1d10 meters.
You need to nickname that last pistol Michael Bay.
So that's only... Right. So that's going to do 6 more impact damage. But if the target is carrying any grenades or missiles, those detonate immediately with normal effects. And he did have a fragmentation grenade.
Oh my god.
Modeus MVP.
Fucking rolls down.
So I'm not even going to look up the damage because I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So I'll roll. These guys are going to be fucking dead. But.
Hey, we were picked for a fucking reason, it seems.
So,
this fucking guy's a crack shot.
Yeah.
As you lean out, fortunately you guys are far enough away because you kept going after ramming the one guy with that hit. You just lean out, take the shot, you keep moving, and a lot of things explode. He explodes, then the ammo cooks off, then the grenade cooks off. And these cultists are literally just splattered across this rubble. You hear the guardsmen, their gunfire just die out. And as you look back, a few of them are just, like, standing there, just, like, shocked, staring at you guys. And they'll sort of pump their fists in the air, and they look like they're cheering. You can't hear them because of their microbeads, but they look pretty fucking excited. That was pretty cool. So... that's the ambush.
That's how you land on the planet.
An extreme sense of calm still. Just, I try not to get too excited, or I don't know. I'm trying to not show too much emotion with this because inside I'm still kind of like fucking scared as shit right now.
Just rolls back up the window slowly.
Not my forte. Just sit back, find the right bead, and pop off when I can.
All right. So as the gunfire dies down and you guys begin making your way south, are you still flooring it now that it seems to everyone be dead?
No.
No, you're just driving
at a more maneuverable speed.
So your guys, your speed for that is So you wouldn't be forced to tactical speed in this. The ground is a little rugged, but you have a rugged vehicle, so it doesn't actually have to worry about rugged ground or rough terrain. So you probably wouldn't want to do cruising speed just because of how blown up everything is, but you'd probably be going about 60 kilometers an hour. And you're only about 20 kilometers away. So you'll probably be at the border of the miasma in about 20 minutes. And as you guys are driving, making your way through these burnt out towns and what look like destroyed outposts and barricades that either the PDF or the Imperial Guardsmen have destroyed in their onslaught on the city, or the heretics have abandoned due to their uselessness, you make your way into part of the shanty town surrounding the area. And like most things in the Imperium, when it comes to wealth and class, the shanty towns are bad. The stagnant water from the mire and the growing fields just seems to pool and collect here. It's one of the lowest points in the terrain. So there's sewage, there's runoff and waste. It smells awful, like human feces and rotting vegetation, along with the smoke and fire and just odors of the now dead heretic that's probably got a few chunks hanging out in your grill.
Smells like home.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I take a big whiff of my.
Oh, reminds me of garlic.
As you continue, you notice that the road gets put up on stilts. The road is the nicest thing here, probably because this is one of the main thoroughfares into the city. It's very wide. If you had to compare it to sort of our sort of roads, it'd probably be about 8 lanes wide each direction. And there are scattered remains of burnt out chimeras and Imperial Guard vehicles and armor, as well as civilian carriages. Their vehicles they change from planet to planet, but it's all sort of based off of the same design. These ones seem very open and light. Pollution is something that agri-worlds are actually very checked on. So there's also a lot of like dead animals and animal-drawn carriages that are burnt out here. And you see these corpses of these sort of oxen-looking quadrupeds with these long curling horns and bright feathery coats. Just sort of slain and rotting. Some of them are bloated or destroyed by gunfire. Who knows? A few of them even look like they have been armored by the heretics. Tried to be used as battle mounts, but you put a cow against a guy with a fucking automatic grenade launcher and it's not going to go well. As you continue in, give me a science, or however you fucking pronounce it, test, Modius.
All right. That would be
You should have...
plus 10 with 2 checks.
Yeah, it's not on your sheet. Oh, I'm looking at Phalos' sheet. Never mind. Yep. Plus 10. Go. Yeah. 71. Okay. You sense the distortion of the warp, much like you did on the Inquisitor ship. This one it feels molded. It's like if you stepped into a mushroom and became like part of its spore and cloud. There's a rot, a festering, a cold, slimy sort of presence and feel to this taint of the warp. You can't pinpoint it like you could on the Inquisitor ship, but you're definitely nearing this miasma.
Keep on this course then. I think we're getting close.
Well, you all just follow me and we'll get there.
As
I
I
don't think we have an option.
As I kind of lean out the window and I look through the scope, like towards the direction that we're headed into the fog, can I see anything into it, or is it like just like an opaque wall of mist?
Give me an awareness check, plus 30. There's no, the mist is bad, but yeah, give me the check. 71. You can't really pick anything out. There seems to be some sort of, probably about 200 meters ahead, there seems to be some sort of obstruction on the road, but you're not precisely sure what it is. It doesn't look like a vehicle or a barricade. You're not actually really sure what it is.
Given my feel for that last one, can I kind of give the same check?
It's not going to be a warp thing. It's a visual thing. You you can do an awareness. Do you have anything that will let you see far away?
Only for darkness, not for distance.
Okay. So it'll be a -10 awareness.
Well, somebody wouldn't give us binoculars.
And I got a +10, so to go straight.
Yep, it'll be a straight roll.
See nothing.
No, the fog and the blood from the heretic are obscuring your vision. You guys should really turn on the windshield wipers.
At one point, I meant to ask if there was such a thing, and then.
Oh, you tried to turn on the windshield wipers, but the car doesn't want you to.
It likes the blood. All right.
Are we in the miasma at this point?
No, you are about 200 meters away from what you can guess to be the miasma.
Which is about the time. Am I driving straight into this, or are we stopping and making some sort of examination? I just need to know what the next thing is.
Are there any buildings near the edge of like the mist or something like that?
Yeah, there's a few. You guys have passed a few. There have been buildings alongside of the road. None of them are nice. They look very ramshackle. And getting off the road, like you can't drive off of the road here because the buildings are all made of wood on stilts, just sort of trying to get them up out of the mire. And the road itself is a very recent construction. It's fortified. It's got these high walls on the side, probably about 8 feet tall or fucking 3 meters. I don't know. So driving off of the road, you guys would have to like break down this wall and then like plummet into the mire. If you wanted to go on foot, that's different.
It's a bit devastating considering.
Yeah, in that case, I would say we keep pressing forward. Because I mean, maybe we stop like right at the edge or something, but once they like go and leave the car to go explore the ramshackle house.
I would not recommend leaving this car anywhere.
Yeah.
Like, if you guys are gonna like leave it behind, that I'll tell you right now, it's gonna lose you influence with the Inquisitor.
I did not plan on leaving car. At least, within eyesight is fine. But
yeah, and like when you guys scale that, like if you guys have to leave it behind, or if it gets fucking destroyed, that's different than like, yeah, we got bored, so we left it on the side of the road. Just so you know.
We intend to drive to destination. Just did not know if wanted to stop and examine mist before entering.
Also, roll up the windows.
It's not like a D&D mist of like magic. It's got a bad vibe to it, and it might be a little heavier, but it's not like this magical sight blocking
Purplish.
Yeah. It's heavy fog from like smoke and shit like that. It's passable. It's either you could clear it if you had a big fan. It's more the vibe than anything. Like something's wrong here.
The one downside of moving into something like that is considering the walls on the side and that entire just mist in the air. It's going to be extremely easy for us to be ambushed going through it.
If you guys look on your map, the road to the northeast of number 5, that's where you guys are. You guys are
probably right before you get into the cluster of buildings. The cluster on the left will be in play. That'll be the little shanty you guys are next to. Any deeper and you guys will get into the city proper. This road will open up in the city proper. You know that from the schematics. It won't have these high walls on the side. But you're not sure of how the roads are gonna feel inside or how well they're gonna be or if they're mined or shit like that. So main roads, you're gonna get there quick. These little side roads and alleyways, you might take a little longer, but you also might avoid the cultist forces.
Well, that
So,
second
like,
question was point to kill cultists or enter town.
Are you asking me or the party?
I'm asking party.
say what now? Point is to
Is our
do
goal
what?
to kill cultists or simply enter town? I can take side path and avoid potential issues, but less cultists will be there to be shooting.
Well, our goal is to get to that big shiny tower over there. So I say we just go straight there and fuck whoever gets in the way.
Yes. Our main objective is to make our way to the tower, and any heretics, cultists, anything of that sort we run across while here, we deal with.
Fair enough. It's just not tank. So, we may not want to drive into any situation. Maybe we take side roads,
Look,
and
what's
if
up
we
with
see
that?
opportunity to ambush cultist forces guarding main road, we kill them.
Look, I don't care how we do it, right? But I saw some things when we was up in orbit coming down while y'all was playing around in the car. I went and looked outside. We want to get out of here as soon as possible, right? This place don't have too long.
Right.
The faster the better.
As you
Now I
guys,
can't turn, so we'll just keep going straight.
as you guys get closer, the obstruction you saw, Barbosa, gets into more shape, and it is a string of gutted Imperial Guardsmen. And
Like hanging from
oh yeah, they're hanging from this sort of
straight or
they're hanging sort of strung up over this sort of supporting archway that crosses over the road just as a structural support. And into their flesh are just carved these sigils that almost hurt your brain. Like you feel the spike of pain as you look at them. Just this darkness and evil weeping from them. Another sort of hastily constructed, almost like Wicker Man-esque statue of body parts and corpses has been constructed and tied together with what looks like barbed or razor wire. It's unclear whether or not the guardsmen were still alive when they were bound together like this. And inside of this sort of bone cage before it was lit and is still burning and smoking, you see the huddled up corpses of other guardsmen having been chained inside of a living cage of their own comrades and set alight. I need you all to make a willpower test.
would I get any bonuses to this due to my condition?
You will get bonuses if you're jaded.
No.
I am currently jaded, so.
You're jaded. Let's read out that talent for me
Let
if you have it available.
Find the talent real fast. Again, I have to re-find the page of it fast. Talents. Jaded. Ignore mundane horrors, dead bodies.
Yep, you'd be good.
Yep.
So you don't have to.
Abominations. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Manifestations of the warp.
So. All right. So Modius, you're good.
Like effigies.
Barbosa, you're good, I think. And Phalos. Phalos, what's your willpower?
Garbage. It's 20 something.
Okay, so you'll gain 1 insanity point, which will you're stable. It's fine. Like insanity points are things you guys are gonna get. They will get worse. Yeah, they'll get worse and worse as you acquire more, and they'll eventually lead to mental traumas and stuff like that. But that's every 10 insanity points you get. It is 100 experience points to remove 1 sanity point.
Hopefully everybody will be mutated and insane.
Yeah. But right now you're good. You just look at it, and then you've served with the Imperial Guard before. And just seeing that, you know that though their faith may be misguided and that they don't, believe in the true Omnicide, to see these sort of brave, servants of the Imperium killed like this is it's a little too much. And it's just very quiet as you slowly drive up to this effigy.
Has Lothos seen something like this before in his time dealing with heretics in pretty much the Hive?
Do you have any forbidden lores?
Not in that.
You can do a forbidden lore. I think there's a forbidden lore heresy.
Forbidden lore heresy.
I'm pretty sure.
I'll do the same thing. I was wondering basically this thing.
Some warpy shit.
Kind of weird cults while I was out hunting witches or anything.
Yeah. Okay.
Pretty sure I know what this is. Obviously out of character, but I just want to know what I would know in character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead and give me forbidden lore checks. Minus 20.
Here we go.
Wow.
My intelligence is 30, so I don't think that would work.
Damn.
Only if I added a fate point to that. Damn.
You could.
I could.
No, neither of you know any specifics. You know this is bad shit. You guys have been around long enough and seen enough of the sort of secrets that the Greater Imperium doesn't want you to know, which is part of the reason why you were inducted into the Inquisition. But this is... You get the feeling that most people who see this kind of shit don't live to tell about it.
Maybe we should have gone through the start.
Saying maybe you guys should have gone through the South.
I'm not saying.
Yeah, maybe we should have gone through the fucking South anyway.
I'm here to deal with witches, so we will deal with witches if we run into them.
I thought it was going to be one witch. This ain't one witch.
Good.
For the record,
What's
I was
that?
the lone vote to come in from the south.
I voted to go into the South. I said we should have gone there.
Well, I mean, do you guys advance?
Do you guys
I
want?
feel like I should burn it first. Burn it creepy. Drive it underneath. Put a spell on us.
I should get behind that.
First.
Yeah. Do you guys have anything to burn it with? It's already been burned, by the way.
It's
Burn
already
it
been
some
burned.
more.
Burn it some more.
We lost our guy in the flamer. Damn.
I mean, I'll stop if people want to try and do a thing, but I don't have anything to help you with your burning.
I don't have stuff that does burning. I have stuff that just kills people.
What's holding them up?
They are strapped together with barbed wire.
along the archway as well? I know you
No,
said that-
so there are guys hanging from the archway that have been hung
so it's just
and eviscerated. This is a sort of effigy made out of people.
The best kind of effigies.
Yeah, it looks to be about 15 or 20 people were literally strung together with barbed wire to create this. And then the cage that the human bodies made were filled with other people and then lit on fire. Presumably while they were all still alive.
I mean, did you?
Did anybody bring a fucking grenade?
Someone had a grenade.
Not
That
me,
one,
no.
oh, good stuff, man.
The guy with all the fucking demolition experts.
The guy who
up
fucking
on it.
exploded. Yeah, I mean, you could try and pull it apart.
I ain't touching that.
No,
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
let's not touch that.
That's the smart idea. All right. So you
Fuck
guys
it,
wanna-
run it over.
I could attempt to dismantle from distance. I do not know how effective it will be.
I don't know. It's probably nothing. But it's just spooking me.
It's meant to spook. Leave it be.
It's meant to spook. It is the spook.
I'm gonna drive on, maybe a little bit faster than I was driving before, but I'm not
Yeah.
actively flooring it.
No. So you guys sort of weasel your way through this obstruction. It's pretty big. Trying not to get close enough or close to this effigy. And as you pass by, it's almost as though there's whispers coming from the outside of the car, and it's like you hear the very just barest faint touch of a hand grabbing the steering wheel, or not the steering wheel, the door handle, before you speed past and into the city, into this waiting miasma. And the fog rolls in now, thick and heavy, stench rolling in, even though you guys have the windows up, this overbearing rot smell, almost making you guys gag with its strength. Just permeates everything, and everything in this area is just moist. There's a sheen of like mold on everything and growing funguses, and you pass a few piles of corpses on your way in, either guardsmen or heretic, you can't tell, and there just seems to be this sort of myconid growth sprouting from them. You continue in.
Huh. Well then. And how far can we see through this miasma?
You guys can see probably about 50, 60 meters
Okay.
out of your car. That also with as you go into the city, the buildings will get higher and sort of nicer. So you're still basically in the shanty, but it's kind of like the city of the shanty. Think like 1920s docks, New York City.
Okay then.
So it stinks. You pass by what looks to be a butcher shop. The glass windows and door just covered in this pulsing mold. The hanging meats on it just literally like dripping with moisture and condensation as the meat itself turns to a slime rapidly going by. You guys don't feel bad. You don't feel any effect on yourselves. You guys don't have respirators, so that's not poisonous, obviously. Luckily. But this might be the reason the Imperial Guard guys were all wearing respirators.
Note to self, bring respirator next time.
Yeah.
They
So
probably
as you-
didn't have any of them left at the quartermaster.
He probably wouldn't have any left.
That's the one thing. That's the one thing he had. He's had cases and cases of them.
Nah, damn.
Um,
That's what all the shelves were filled with, was respirators.
so do you guys just want to beam it towards the tower, or do you guys want to sort of scope the area out?
I would want to scope the area out, but obviously that is
Mostly decided by our Mechanicus.
I'll say we head straight there. No need to dally. Better we get off sooner and faster we get off this rocket, better.
Mm.
Question: within the city itself, is the conflict? There are heretics without who are trying to come in, and people inside would still respect the authority of the Imperium, or is it throughout the whole planet, city included?
Probably should have asked Lieutenant Dan.
I probably should have.
From
I will
from what
in
we
the
were
future.
informed, there was heretics.
Yeah,
from
in-
No,
what-
it's fair that I didn't think to before, so
Yeah.
that's just a question. So instead, I will just do it in character, and none of us will know, and that's fine.
I will say, heresy, big deal. Imperial Guard besieging a city like this, big fucking deal. Is everyone going to rebel? Probably not. But the fact that PDF are working alongside with the Imperial Guard is a good sign. It means that the whole planet hasn't fallen to heresy. It means that there's probably a cult that has been operating for some time, and this is their emergence.
But still, innocence proves nothing.
Exactly.
No, that is fine. I'm just trying to determine if Imperial seal on Inquisitorial seal on car.
Oh, that's not good for you guys.
Yeah.
If anyone sees that and they're not part of the Imperium, they're gonna try and kill you so fast.
This was my concern with driving straight to power. Perhaps we want to take side street scout area and perhaps find safe place for vehicle or just obscure sigil.
I would definitely agree with the scouting out. It gives us the best opportunity of moving to the tower less interrupted.
Okay.
Gives us a feeling of
Alternatively,
control.
if center of town and area around tower is still under Imperium control, sigil gives us authority.
But say if the enemy is surrounding the building itself, we must get through them first. Then
Yes.
get access. So
We
Ups
will
and
take side
downs.
streets, see what we see.
So you guys
Also,
want
what is the sigil and can it be covered reasonably?
you could cover it. That would be heresy.
Yeah, don't do that.
Sure. That's
Yeah, I was
Yep.
gonna say, how dare you say to besmirch the image of the Emperor?
fair enough. I learned the lore. Moving on.
I
Yeah.
learned the lore.
Yeah, you don't really hide when you're the Imperium. So scouting out, you guys can just take it slow with the car, use the map, do like that, or did you want to get out, maybe get to the top of one of these buildings, try and scope some shit out? It is planet time. We'll convert it into normal Earth time. We'll say it's probably about 11 in the morning. You guys don't really have a time constraint, but you also don't want to be hanging out in the city for too long. The longer you're in the city, the more likely you are going to run into something bad.
Were we given a designated time of when the Valkyrie pickup shows up? Doesn't say it inside of the file, but I thought we were given like a few.
You're
days.
given coordinates.
So just coordinates. Okay.
Yep. So you guys have that grid coordinate to which you guys can use. Actually, give me whoever wants to try and navigate. Give me a navigate surface. You get the +10 because of the map, but you will get a -20 because of the miasma. So it's a -10 from my side.
Navigating is what? Intelligence? My intelligence is 36.
Do you have any bonuses?
Not to navigate.
Not to navigate, right? So it's a -10, so that would be 26. So you're a little lost.
Would this count as an enclosed space
No.
on surface? No.
No, the city is too open.
Okay.
That was one of the big
Damn.
things about changing it from a hive. Yeah, I know. But there's some stuff going on that fits the narrative better.
Worth asking. What thing if I get my bonuses?
So yeah, you guys are driving around probably for about an hour, and you pass by that butcher shop again.
Not to doubt your skills, Mechanicus, but are you able to read a map?
I can read the map. Why concerned?
Because we just passed by butcher shop again.
Was different butcher shop. You are not paying attention.
It was the same butcher shop.
Definitely the same butcher shop.
I'm pretty sure it was a different butcher shop. But you know what? I turned left past the other butcher shop, so I'll turn right this time and just ease everyone's collective concern.
Sure, give me another navigate test with minus 20.
Can I? Oh man, I want to roll this so badly. Oh no.
Wow.
Oh wow. Wow.
You make it.
There it
so you take the right, and yeah, you're like, oh shit, I was making left turns the whole time.
We're going in circles.
You're just going around the block. Where are you trying to go?
The vicinity of that giant tower and out of the miasma.
You're trying to make
But
it
I
to the
don't
tower?
I don't want to get right up there. I want to give Lothos his chance to poke around, but
No. Yeah. So you make some progress under the miasma, and you notice that the buildings will change. They'll get to 2 stories and 3 stories, still made out of wood, but you'll notice a few sort of creep bunkers and buildings and structures and hard structures and stuff like that. You're making progress in the city, not as much as you should be, though. For the rate you've been driving, the speed you've been driving, checking the map, you're 3 kilometers east of where you should be and only halfway as far south as you should be.
something is not correct.
I think maybe you just don't know how to drive very well.
No, I am aware of where I am on map, but I should be other place on map.
That's because he was driving in circles for 2 hours.
That's why we're only halfway there, you see.
I think miasma is affecting speed or distance. Something is strange.
I see.
You sure you're not just lost, mate?
Phalo State is never lost.
Those
Lost
will
like
be
2 minutes ago.
I feel like those are going to be words to live by for this campaign.
Never lost.
We're never lost. Fucking 500 clicks in on a jungle death world. I know exactly where we are.
I don't know if anyone else has navigate skill, but I feel like I should always roll it because I don't. I just spoke idiocy. Anyway, Phalo State is never lost. But we are making progress to tower. Whenever you feel you wish to do something other than drive towards tower, just let Phalos know.
Like to actually drive towards the tower.
Now that you bring that up, if we could stop for a second.
Did you not use the restroom before leaving? I told you to go.
You didn't remind me, and now is the time.
Well, I will pull up.
Okay, you're at a crossroads. This sort of moss and rot hanging off of what looked to be some sort of traffic signal. Not like Earth, there's like a post in the middle, and it seems to be just iterating between these 3 different hues, and maybe that's how traffic works here. You're not sure. There are almost like snowdrifts of corpses here, piled up against walls, and almost as though a wave swept through here, knocking everything against walls and into places where litter would get up. And that's basically what these corpses are just discarded litter. You can't avoid them with a car. You'll drive over him and there'll be snapping of bones and rib cages like tree branches. But you pull up next to looks to be some sort of ministorum building. Some sort of office, you're not sure, but the door is just sort of swinging slowly in this sort of hot, muggy breeze that blows through, and it's dead silent as you all step out of the car. There's not a whisper on the wind.
I ain't stepping out of shit.
At the moment, I don't know
You
how to
better
stop.
piss out the window, mate. I don't know. I think we better. The fuck you gotta piss that bad?
Just give me a minute. I'll be right back.
Is the engine on?
I hope so.
Yeah, I'm
Just leave him alone.
As soon as he's gone.
leaving that running, though
Okay.
it could also attract attention. So this could be good or bad. But I want to be able to leave if I need to.
Yeah.
So yes.
Okay. Go ahead, Modius.
It's
Well,
only number one. Don't worry.
You get out of the vehicle?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I gotta go, man.
Do you just go into an alley, or do you explore the building looking for a latrine?
Oh, I'm just gonna go behind the vehicle.
Oh, behind the car? Okay.
while he's doing that, Lothos is just gonna be like scoping out the area, just keeping an eye out, like looking at the rooftops, looking in the alleyway.
Okay.
Like
Do you legit
I
have
am
to take a leak?
I am paranoid at this point, or not
You-
really paranoid, just suspicious of everything.
Give me
Yeah, I want to take the Overwatch action on my side of the car. Like,
Okay. Read that one out to me.
give me 2 seconds to pull it up.
Overwatch actually might not be a bad action at this point.
It's the perfect time to do
Shoots
Overwatch.
targets coming into a set 45-degree kill zone with standard, semi-auto / full auto, whatever you want. Meeting certain criteria as chosen by the player. Targets of an Overwatch shot must take a 0 pinning test or become pinned even if attacked did no damage.
Okay. So are you just facing out your window?
Yeah,
It's
you said
45
we're at a
degrees.
crossroads,
Yep.
so I figure basically I've got whatever. If we're driving south, I suppose I'm on the right-hand side. I'd probably have be shotgun, so I'm facing the west. So
Okay.
I'm out facing toward the west down the street, eyeing my scope. Just the barrel basically poking out of the seat, just like or out of the window. Just kind of sitting there watching to see if anything moves. I kind of glanced around other directions too, but mostly just like.
Modius, Lothos, and Barbosa, give me awareness checks, -10. And remember, that's -10 on top of whatever bonus or detriments you guys have to the skill.
I would like to actually spend a fate point on this one to give me a +20
Okay.
as part of my Adaptus Ministor's ability.
Okay.
I pretty much have to get a 1. You said it was -10, and I'm not skilled, so it's -30. So I fail.
I do have plus 10. I think it is with the 2 checks. Yeah.
Okay, so that'll be flat, and then Lothos, you get a +10. All right, so Modius, you're behind the vehicle, taking a piss. Got your robes pulled up. You know, you're vulnerable, like any person taking a piss behind a car in a war zone. And you're just sort of looking out. You're keeping an eye out. You got one hand on your fucking junk, one hand on your fucking las pistol, and you're looking around, and your eyes sort of just rest on one of these bodies, and it's just sad, like seeing them crumpled up. And you're tracing the body's outline, and you're looking, and it's staring back at you.
Oh no. Get ready to remove that eye patch of yours,
That's
my
fucking
guy.
awkward.
What the fuck?
And it looks just clear,
Powerful.
just normal human eyes. Lothos, as you're peeking out your side of the window as well, you look to another corpse pile, and you see the exact same thing, only you see the muzzle of a las carbine pointing out. And as you both sort of realize this, there's a low whistle, and from all of these corpse piles, guardsmen just stand up. It's popping out of them like mushrooms. Or
Fuck.
like fucking zombies. They just stand up. And they've all got their weapons trained on you. There's about 10 of them. And these guys are fucking huge.
Like Imperial guards or like guardsmen?
Imperial guards.
Okay. I was
They're
like,
they're Imperial guardsmen, you think. They
Okay.
don't look like guardsmen. They're fucking massive. All of them are about 7 feet tall, weigh about upwards of 250 pounds. Huge muscles. They're wearing these almost garish. Now that they're out of the corpse piles, you see that they had actually sort of stowed these away, but they sort of fold them out, these bright red bandanas. And they're not wearing any armor whatsoever. They have what look to be sort of BDU pants, these heavy boots. At each of their hips is about a 2-foot-long knife, which would be a knife to these guys. And they're all just staring at you, just these deadpan stares. And out of the office building next to you, you'll hear a little dingle of a door chime as it opens. And out will stride a guy, if possible, bigger than the rest of them. Just built like a brick fucking shithouse. He looks like Arnold in The Predator. He's got one of his arms, his left one, is from the shoulder outwards, is entirely just this beautifully rendered cybernetic. And he's carrying what looks like a fucking bolter, but he's a guardsman. You're not sure. And he's just got this fat fucking cigar in his mouth, just lit up, smoking it, having a ball, doesn't seem to give a shit. And he just stares at you, Modius, as you're finishing up. Takes a look around, sees the Inquisition seal on your vehicle, just takes a big puff of the cigar and goes, "Well, it's about God Emperor blessed time you fucking Inquisition got here. Sergeant Typhus, got a chain commandos. I was told to keep an eye out for you sons of bitches. Now, hopefully, you're who I'm looking for. Because if not, I'm about to kill you."
This is the guy we're supposed to give the command word to, correct? Or the password?
Is it?
Yes.
Yes.
If the Sergeant Typhon, yes, there is a passphrase I should be giving you. It is lamentation.
Is what? Lime and taste?
Lamentation. Someone else say the word.
I don't know about these ones, boys.
Lamentation.
Glad I understood. All right, boys, put them down. And as the guardsmen sort of pick their way out of these corpse piles, sort of just brushing off gore and blood and, wiping their mouths, spitting out a little bit, some of them. You see, these are some hardcore-looking motherfuckers. And they'll sort of group up. You'll notice Lothos with your awareness like that, and you're a sniper. You'll sort of look at the rooftops and notice a few cloaked figures just not coming down, but they will detach from whatever piece of terrain you thought they were a part of and just vanish. Sergeant Typhon will stride forward, slapping his metal hand down on the auto carriage. Just be like, "Well, y'all are here. Y'all got the passphrase. I assume you're here to kill you a fucking witch." And that is where we're going to end our session.
Yep.
I really thought we were all going to die because Modius said to pee.
Honestly,
Sorry,
I was
guys.
expecting
Sometimes
Modius to
it's
get shot in the dick. I'm gonna be honest. That's how.
It's gonna be zombies at first. I was like, oh, they're alive. Of course, the giant drift of zombies.
I thought you had a real reason to get in the car. I was kidding about peeing.
28 days later,
Modi-
bullshit.
When Modius finally says the safe word and takes off the eye patch and fucking releases the third eye.
I don't think you'd be able to kill them with it.
No, probably not.
These guys are fucking beefy. But that's where we're going to end it for the night, guys. I hope you enjoyed watching. We're going to throw this up on YouTube as soon as we can, and depending on whether or not I recorded everything right, I probably didn't, but we'll see. I hope you guys enjoyed. Hopefully we can keep doing this in the future. We've got a few problems that came up tonight. We're going to work on fixing them. We're going to work on getting this layout done. and hopefully we're going to get this to where we want it to be. But for now, I will see you guys next time. I've been Dylan. I've been your game master. This has been Dark Heresy Whispers of the Eye. Tune in next time, and we'll see if these guys manage not to get killed by the Catachan Devils.